is right, they're right. The man fought wars in the ring. The man fought wars in the ring.
Face facts, you're in his shadow. I don't know if there's any way out.
Yeah, it'd be the greatest fight ever.
Anybody know who you are? I want the damn title of these people think of a fuck. I want the damn title of these people think of a fuck.
Am I really good enough? Do people really think I'm a cheap carbon copy or a second-rate pretender who only got a shot because of my skin tone?
All right, this is King Bucho. Welcome to BDA Boxing, the Boxing Debate Arena. This is a post-fight show, basically, because we had a bunch of fights yesterday, so we're going to be talking about that. First of all, shout out to everybody in the chat. We have Rafael Garza, the one. We also have Steph K, Jamie, Hard Recall, LL, SSC. Welcome to the show. All right, let's get this party started. We already have Mr. BDA here and Chief. Guys, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
All right, let's get this party started. Jaron Ennis destroys Uisma Lima in one round. So Jaron Boots Ennis made a spectacular debut in the super welterweight division, demolishing Uisma Lima in the first round. He was fighting in his hometown of Philadelphia, and he's hurt the Angolan early and dropped him 3 times, forcing a referee stoppage at the 1 minute 58 mark. Okay, whatever. Anyways, thoughts on this? What would you call it? Like on Ennis's 154-pound debut.
Well, I said a long time ago I thought that this guy was going to be special. My hang up on him is the fact that whoever's been managing him, promoting him, and calling all the shots behind, the old curtain, is not doing him any favors by constantly not trying to whet the appetite of the people to try and want to fight him. If that's the excuse that nobody wants to fight him, then they're not keeping him busy in place of that. And I think that's their fault. That's my biggest concern and my biggest critic. His talent, though, is enough to be up there with anybody. I would say possibly even up to 160. Now, I might be stretching it a little bit, but obviously 147, and whether it was because he was a weight bully or whether it was just that talented or a combination of both, I don't know, but there wasn't very many people there at that time that could have hung with him. I definitely think he could have beaten Spence before Crawford would have, and I'm talking about the Spence that fought Usyk, not the leftover trash can that Crawford exposed. But aside from that, Crawford might have been his only challenge there. At 154, there's a lot of young guys there for him to prove his talent against, and I'm looking forward to it. But his athleticism and the eye test shows the fact he's going to give everybody, even if he doesn't beat them all, they're not going to whitewash him unless he really can't take a punch, which that's really the only question we have left is I don't think his chin obviously isn't glass. Otherwise, with some of the shots he gets hit with, he would have been knocked down. But he does get hit, and is that going to cost him down the road? Well, it remains to be seen. But he's definitely talented. He's got the athleticism. He's got a lot of what it takes to do this. It's just when are these other fights going to happen to where we're going to start realizing the fact if the talent just looks good because the quality of competition is low, or if he's really that special. The eye test says he's that special. The quality of competition.
Now, some people, yes, sorry. People have criticized
I was going too long.
Lima. I mean, was he really? I mean, we know it was a tune-up, but some people are saying that this guy shouldn't even have been in the ring with Ennis. He was so bad. Are you?
I'm not sure. I never really heard much about the guy before, so I don't have anything to draw for that with. And this good guy was apparently tailor-made to look good against for a weight class debut. So I still hear the criticism, and I don't argue with the guys that criticize him. The only person that's a bigger proponent than the guy that built up Ennis on this panel than me is, well, not necessarily on the panel, is Dirk, but Rare Breed. Rare Breed's biggest thing is he sees the eye test and he's putting all the faith in the eye test. I do hear the knocks that people have about the fact it's easy to look good when you're fighting. Enter your adjective: bums, tomato cans, journeyman, whatever you want to put in that situation. At the same time, maybe he's just that good. Now, at his age, he is older than both Roy Jones and Floyd Mayweather when they finally transitioned to the big stage. The knock that I have is when they were coming up, they were fighting the same level of cans, and everyone just went off the eye test of how they looked on saying this is going to be a generational talent one day. Nobody's been giving this guy this credit, really. Everyone's really been trying to knock everything until he answers these questions. There was a point where I thought that was unfair. We're past that point now. It's time to really put it in, not just fight for vacant titles. If you can't get the guy you want through doing business, then go become his number one contender, flex the mandatory, and fight these guys.
All right.
And even if you got to take one for pay cut, make it happen.
Yeah, of course. I agree 100%. 100%. I mean, he called out Ortiz after the fight. He called out, if that fight doesn't happen, he basically called out everybody else. Xander Zayas, Sebastian Fundora, Bakram Murtazaliev. Are you confident that these fights happen? I mean, maybe it's a stupid question because we don't know, but are you confident that these fights actually take place? I'm not. I don't think
I'm not positive. I'm not comfortable that Fundora's going to happen because he left PBC, even though they weren't really his. That was just a platform he was fighting on. They really didn't control his shots from what I was told behind the scenes. But I don't see Al opening that up for a guy that's not going to be able to. He's going to be able to keep any titles he has left under his promotion intact. If he loses any of them, he loses his foothold in boxing. And if seeing that he keeps losing platform after platform, and I don't want to go too far down the Al Heyman rabbit hole, but the point is, if he keeps losing belts to people, and he doesn't have any options on the opponent that his guys are fighting, then he's just straight up out of boxing. He doesn't want that. So I don't see the Fedor fight happening just because I don't see Fedor beating this guy. I just think he's too athletic for Fedor. I think Fedor can make it awkward for a little bit, but once the IQ test kicks in, once the athleticism comes to fruition, once the speed starts to catch Fedor with shots he just doesn't see, the cream will rise to the top. I'm not saying he will knock him out. I think he beats him. He should be able to knock him out because Fedor does get hit rather cleanly, but there is a height adjustment to go over, and I don't know if Boots is
let's go through. Let's go through the names. So you talked about Fundora, his chances against Xander Zayas. What about those? What about his chances against this guy?
I like the chances against Zayas. I know that Bob Arum want to take a lot of time with that guy, and time's up. So he's kind of in a similar boat. Time's up. You've had a lot of time to be groomed. Are you ready? And I think it's a perfect fight for both of those guys right now. And Eddie Hearn can get stuff done with Bob Arum, with whatever Bob Arum platform business plan he has left. I think that could definitely happen. Depends on if Eddie can actually convince Bob to make that fight go. But I think it's a great fight for both of them. I would pick Boots over Zayas. No, I said Fedor a second ago. I would pick him over Zayas, and I pick him over Fedor.
All right, and
I
now
can see the Zayas fight possibly happening. All right, we're wrapping up. I can see the Zayas fight possibly happening because of the promoters and the same platform. I do not see it happen with Fedor. And how do you pronounce the next man's name again? I'm sorry.
Murtazaliev.
Thank you. Thank you for saying it for me. That one, to me, I don't know. I don't know a lot about him. I know he beat up Zoo pretty well, took Zoo's punches. He's a big, strong guy. He can take a lot of punishment. Looks like he's pretty powerful. Because I don't know as much about him, that's the dark horse that I could probably see being the true test for Boots. And at this moment, if I were Boots, I'd stay away from that one until until the playing field empties where it's just the two of them.
All right, before we continue here, Boxer Sparring is saying Boots did the same thing after he beat Karen, talking about going up to 154 and fighting everybody before he retracted his statement and wanting to unify 147. That's true. After the Karen fight, remember, guys, he was saying, after the second fight with Karen, he was saying that he was struggling to make 147, and that they were going to move up to 154. And then he ended up fighting Stanionis and saying he was going to unify the whole division. And then ended up moving to 154. So, yes, that's true. He kind of contradicting himself there. But at this point, I mean, what else can he do? He's at 154. He's not going to go back down to 147. And he's certainly not going to go up to 160. Now, it's true, though. He could start docking all these guys. But I don't know. I just don't think that next fight is going to be a big fight. That's just my opinion. From the get-go, I remember Eddie Hearn saying that they wanted 2 tune-up fights. This is 1 tune-up fight. They wanted 2 tune-up fights, and Turkey apparently told them no. Go ahead.
What I think will happen and what I'm saying how it would plan out the division are the same thing. I do not know what's going to happen next. I don't know how aggressive Eddie Hearn's going to be to try and make things happen. I don't know if Eddie's got the business contacts to try and make a deal with Al or Bob. And I don't know if he even promotes the third person that I can't pronounce his name. He said for me. But all I'm saying is the fact of I don't see anything for him to be afraid of. He's got the talent to compete with all of them. So whether it's him saying yes or no to this, or he's just the mouthpiece for the people telling him what to say, I don't know enough about his camp to know this kind of stuff. All I know is he is talented. He can hang with him. Doesn't mean he beats him. Will these fights happen? It's a two-way street. These guys aren't exactly sending out contracts saying, I want Boots next. I sent him an offer and he's not answering. So it is a two-way street there.
Right. True. Hey, BDA, you're there? Nope. I can't hear you. Anyways. Jump in when you can, I guess. What else? Okay, so yeah, we were going through the possible opponents for Ennis.
Well, may I say this? Okay, I guess you can hear me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this was a tune-up, and like you said, I'd forgotten about that, but he wanted 2 tune-ups, which is weird. Why would you want 2 tune-ups? And I remember people were saying, well, what about Vergil Ortiz? He had 2 tune-ups. Yeah, 2 tune-ups after almost a 2-year layover. He was combating. He was coming back from an illness. So, of course, he needed some tune-ups. And then after 2 tune-ups, which didn't even go 2 full rounds, he ends up jumping in there with Sergey Bohachuk. So there's that to be considered. I don't know why these guys wanted I don't know why the Ennis team wanted 2 tune-ups. Be that as it may, what happened yesterday was unsurprising. I mean, you have a guy who's got speed and power against a guy who's really older. He's strong, but he's way slower. He doesn't have that one-punch knockout power. His technique isn't even really all that great. Because usually if you want to find a guy who's slower to beat the quicker guy who's got heavy hands, that dude who's slower has to have very good technique and at least, be durable and have a good defense to be able to outlast the sprinter. Because usually big punchers who have fast hands are sprinters. They tend to start out very quickly and then they tend to slow down. This guy didn't have any of that. So it's not surprising that this is what occurred. It fit the formula perfectly. What is weird is that some people are sort of jumping the gun and saying, oh man, Ennis beats Ortiz easy. Like based on what happened yesterday, because Ortiz and Ennis have had similar opponents. They both ended them at around the same time. Like, for example, Puerto Rican fella, Delorme. They both stopped him in the first round. So, Vergil Ortiz has had first-round stoppages as well. I don't remember too many people saying, oh, my God, this guy's invincible. So I don't know why that's being done with Jaron Ennis. But even as it may, that's also the other thing. Yesterday, the big focus was on Jaron Ennis' future fights, particularly the Vergil Ortiz one. So that lets you know how much of a mismatch we had yesterday. And it just underscores how much of a crappy last 2 months or a month and a half we've had in boxing, because this is one of the big – well, not big, but one of the most relevant cards of the month, and it turned out to be a mismatch. Actually, the highlight of the night was the heavyweight fight that happened earlier, but we'll talk about that later, between Guido Vianello. What a name for an Italian, by the way. It's like a Mexican big name, Spic Sanchez or something. I was like, what the fuck?
But it was Guido.
Well, it's Guido, like in Star Wars? No, it's Guido.
Yeah, I thought it was Guido.
No, it's not greedy. But anyway, the point is that, so they're talking, Eddie Hearn, I don't know if you guys heard, but Eddie Hearn is saying, the Ortiz fight should be next, barring any unforeseen circumstances. So at 154, people were talking about that in the Discord earlier this week. Like, it's a jam-packed division. You take any of the guys you mentioned earlier from the top 10, match them up against one another. It's a good fight. It's a good, interesting fight. But for some reason, they're not fighting each other. And hopefully we don't jinx it or anything here, but hopefully that Ortiz versus Ennis fight happens. Now, something else to take into consideration. First of all, I'm always a little bit trepidatious of talking about future fights. Ortiz versus Ennis. Ortiz has to get past Erickson Lubin first. Lubin is rated number 5 at junior middleweight by Ring Magazine. And he's no pushover. He's got quick hands. He can crack a little bit too. He's been around the block. He's been in there with Fundora, even though he lost. He fought him. He fought Jermel Charlo, even though that didn't even go around. But what I'm saying is he's fought the best. He fought Ramos. I was fortunate to get the decision. He's fought guys like Terrell Gaucher and Banana Rosario. So what I'm trying to illustrate is here. He's got experience. He's at top 10, in fact, top 5 at this point, junior middleweight. So it's not a given that Ortiz is going to walk away from that fight the winner. I expect him to win, but you know what? Hey, this is boxing. These guys are top-level boxers. But, listen, that's the other problem with the Ennis-Ortiz fight. Some people were saying, this fight isn't being managed properly or it's not being promoted properly. Well, guess what? The reality is neither Ortiz nor Ennis are stars. They're not stars. They're not national stars. And right now, people have to take into consideration we're in a restructuring period. Canelo's 35. Who knows what is going to happen? He's got 2 fights left on his contract. So assume that he's got 2 fights left total in boxing. He's a face of boxing. Anthony Joshua, the other face of boxing, same age, 35 years old. He's coming off a knockout loss. Who knows if he's going to fight? He's going to fight this year. I think he's going to fight early next year, they said. So we're in a restructuring period right now where don't expect any big mega fights. The Sheik is going to put on some mega cards like the one we have in November 22nd. But other than that, Vergil Ortiz and Ennis, if people think, if we marinated one more year, it's going to be bigger. By how much? Is it like, would it be, is it going to be to an exceptional degree that it matters or that it's worth prolonging it? No, just make it now. Now, the problem with doing that, however, is that you want to be able to sell it somehow, right? And the way to do that would be that, the winner becomes the number 1 guy in the division. Unfortunately, Ennis just, I don't know. I don't even know if it's going to. The Ring Magazine is probably going to rank him because he's American, he's flashy. So they're probably going to put him in the top 10 based off of what happened yesterday. But they're not going to. I doubt they could. They're going to put him anything, below number 5. He's got to be below number 5. He hasn't done anything to be top 5. And Ortiz right now is rated number 1 by Ring Magazine. So if they want to make the fight to decide who the man is, the undisputed guy at junior middleweight. If they fight tomorrow, Ortiz and Ennis, it's not going to be for the Ring Magazine title. So I understand why some people would like it to be, and that's what people wanted to marinate. But at the end of the day, these are the 2 most significant names in the division. And just based off of that, I wonder if maybe that would permit for the fight to just occur right away. What do you guys think? Should it be marinated or should it just happen right away?
I just want to read a comment in the chat that's related to what you're talking about, what you're asking. Jamie Raiden is saying, in the chat, one of them should get a title to make it a bigger fight. It's true. None of them are fucking champions. Ortiz has a intern belt or something. But do you guys even care about that? Like the title?
Exactly.
Yeah, yes and no, because at the end of the day, whether the belts are watered down or not, to bring up Crawford real fast, he's the man at 168 because he has all the belts. There's nobody left to say, okay, well, there may be a challenger out there for him, but we know when we say, okay, well, who's the best at 168? Until proven wrong, we have to say Crawford because he had, Canelo put it all together. He's been the man there for a while. Crawford beat him. That's the way it works. This is an open division with a lot of talent. So just these 2 fighting without a belt on the line just kind of means, well, you're just a leading contender now. So to make it to where these 2 are going to be the toughest guys on the block that have to get knocked off, it's probably going to be benefit for either or both of them to have a title. Historically speaking, Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns would not have been as big a fight as it was if they both weren't champions when they faced each other. And that's what helped the marketing. Now, I agree with you guys. Sometimes there's too many belts. Then you've got your interims and your regulars and your supers and your goldens and your silvers and your bronze and your plastics and your purple people eater belts, and it just goes way too far. So I understand that, but to have some kind of distinction for both of these fighters when they face each other, other than undefeated records, is going to help market it, help it marinate, and help the casuals jump in. Because I do know of casuals that know both of these guys' names. They may not know much about them. They may not have catch every fight, but they know their names. So you stamp some titles, 1 or 2 titles on this, and it will bring it up. So as far as marinating is concerned, we know we're in October. So we know this is not going to happen before the end of this year. So a year from now, if you can get both of them a title shot and they win, this is a lot of ifs, I get that. But if they do that and then maybe one defense, so if they can fight 3 years next year, a title win or a title shot / win, a defense, and then they square off at the end of the year or sometime in 27. That's kind of the way I see it.
All right.
That would be the best
so
thing.
you're saying that one of them should get a title before they meet each other in a year from now. So WBO champion.
Yeah, but on top of that, I can see both of them could. I can see both of them could because there's 4 belts.
That's a problem, though.
Why not both of them?
That would be perfect. I agree.
Well,
the problem is that if you look at the list of champions, right? WBO champion Sayas, IBF Murtazaliev, and he's supposed to be fighting Josh Kelly. WBA is WBA is Abbas Abreu, the African guy, and WBC Sebastian Fundora. When it comes to Fundora, I don't think none of them are going to fight this guy yet. Yes, go ahead.
That's a sad reality that because I was saying this fight shouldn't be marinated, but that's a sad reality of the current boxing landscape is that belts still matter. There's still a lot of people out there. You want to get the casuals into the stands as well, and unfortunately, a lot of them won't go in the stands unless they see on the marquee title fight, world championship, title fight. And if they don't get that, many of them probably will not be willing to go there. Now, I still think that Ennis versus Ortiz is a fight to make, just because it's 2 relatively big names. Well, again, when I say they're the 2 big names in the division, it's relative. They're not that big in names, so it's gonna take some haranguing, and it's gonna take some creative marketing to really make the most out of the fight, and that's where the Sheik would come in. And that's the thing, though, with Fundora, for example. You guys mentioned him earlier. He's rated number 2 in the division by Ring Magazine. He's not going to fight Keith Thurman anytime soon, apparently. And Rick Glacier was theorizing that that's because the event wasn't selling well, and the PBC decided to self-implode it in order to save face. So then the question becomes, well, where does Fundora go from here? And that's the unfortunate reality, is that he's still with Samson Lukowicz in the PBC. Now, the PBC is not that much of a problem because Al Heyman apparently is not in the equation anymore. Now it's Tom Brown and that the Kubas are the ones who are in power, and they're willing to franchise their opponents, to lend them to other organizations, kind of the way Top Rank is doing now as well. So maybe Fundora could go that way, but to me, the problem is still Samson Lukowicz. Who knows what that guy's cooking up? Who knows what's his scheming? I don't trust him, and it could be easier to find out who the man is. In other words, in order to get to the Ennis Ortiz fight, it would be easier to have Ortiz fight Fundora, and the winner of that fight takes on Jaron Ennis. But unfortunately, like Chief said earlier, Fundora's with the PBC, more specifically with Samson Lukowicz. So who knows if that could even transpire. So it's a bit of a weird division, because the number 1 and number 2 guy who are supposed to be fighting each other to determine who the man is in the division, it seems like they can't fight each other. And then the third best name in the division just arrived, Jaron Ennis, but he's nowhere near in the top 5 of the division. So, well, what do you do? Do you give it to boxing fans just to see that one, or do we wait for one of them to get a title like you guys?
Do you agree with the rankings? Is that a problem, the rankings?
The rankings are okay because, Jaron Ennis hasn't done anything in the division.
Right. Okay, forget about him, but everybody else. Yeah, go ahead, Chief.
Everybody else, because Evander Fundora's got 2 wins over Tim Tszyu. So I think that's enough to put him number 2.
Okay. I mean, the Ring Magazine rankings with the belts and everything being vacated. The only reason why I like belts, and I don't love them, but I like them, is because it helps us differentiate. Because otherwise, your favorite person's the best guy in the division every time. That's who you're going to watch. That's who the best is, and it can be just as much of helping people avoid the best, fighting the best, as it can bringing together. Same with the belts themselves. You have to have something to try and motivate, not just for the public to watch, but to differentiate of, like, unless you're just going to constantly do a tier type. Okay, well, this year we're going to get these, 10 fighters, and we're going to go down until we get to number 1. And Okay, well, next, like a Super Bowl type situation, turn boxing into that. That's the only other way that's going to work. So the belts do help put something together for us to be able to say, okay, well, we have all these great contenders, but these guys actually have climbed a ladder and accomplished something, and they have a prize for it. So now we know these guys are at least the best under this sanctioning body. Then from there, who's the best of them? Then we try to get these guys to face off. How are we going to face off more often? I don't have that answer, and that's not what the show is about. The point is having something tangible to see these guys fighting for, to make it say they're fighting for something, and whoever wins this is the best in this area of this open wide division is why we need it. And again, I don't care who's calling shots at PBC. All you need to know is PBC. That's going to hold Fedor up. They don't want to, if they're really willing to farm their guys out, then one of these fights might get made. Or you'll see a unification fight of some type because they really don't have anything else to throw at Fedor to keep him busy and make money off of him. But so long as they want to keep things in-house like they've been doing for the past, I don't know, I've been on this panel for what? Almost 6 years? So they've been keeping everything in-house almost for 6 years. We don't see anything changing anytime soon, regardless who's calling the shots. The rest of the guys can make something happen. So you got 3 belts and 2 contenders. That's 5 people. You can make some kind of round robin there. What? I don't know. It's going to depend on which negotiations get made. But I can see that. Now, as far as the rankings, because some of these guys have belts and some don't, like if Ennis gets ranked next month after this fight, okay, so now you got a top 10 that's rated by an entity. Vergil Ortiz is number 1 from the magazine that does the rankings that's owned by his promoter. So that's not fishy. But he's still in the conversation. So we could do a round robin that way, but the belts would still have to kind of be put in there for something. And the Ring Magazine belt could be the ultimate goal. I'm fine with that.
At the end of the day, I think the Sheik wants this fight to happen right away. And it doesn't seem like the Sheik is interested in any type of marination. He just wants the best to fight the best. And that's pretty much it. Maybe he'll throw in there the Ring Magazine belt or something. Nobody has it, right? The 154-pound ring.
Nobody has it. No.
He might even throw it in there. Who the fuck knows? I mean, I don't even know.
Well, again, he has to be. A criteria is he has to be the number 1, number 2 guys, or in certain exceptional cases, he can be the number 1 versus number 3 guy. Yeah.
It's still the same as.
But that's what I wanted to say, though. Chief, just to clarify, did you say? I misheard you. Did you say that the Sheik is the promoter and he owns the magazine, or?
Oh no! At one point in time, Oscar owned it. I don't know if he sold it.
Yeah.
He sold it. He sold it.
Yeah, I just want to clarify. Yeah, he sold it.
Yeah,
but that's the thing.
Isn't he still Ortiz's promoter?
Yes, he's still Ortiz's promoter, but he has nothing to do with the magazine anymore.
It was just a corn nugget.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify. All right, but that's the thing, though. That's the thing about the 154-pound division is that I keep saying that it's one of the most jam-packed divisions in terms of talent and good fights to make. I'm not going to go overboard and say great, but really the highlight of the year so far was Ortiz Madrimov in terms of 2 top guys fighting each other. And Ortiz now is going to be taking another top 5 guy or later in a couple of weeks from now against Lubin. So Ortiz is the guy who seems to be making the moves there. The point of criticism is that nobody wants to fight Murtazaliev, seemingly, who is the guy that beat Tim Tszyu, and that's really all he's done. I mean, well, he had the stoppage win over Kolke, which is something I think he was the first guy to manage that against Kolke. So, but other than that, he hasn't fought since he beat Tim Tszyu in, what was it, September or August of last year. So he's just been standing idly by. Yeah, he's just been standing idly by, getting rusty. And I don't know if someone's going to want to try to I think maybe some of these guys might be trying to age him out. They're just saying,
he's fighting Josh Kelly next. That's what they're negotiating.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
After that,
I know.
When is that fight going to happen? I don't even know. So, yeah, it's a waste of time.
Hopefully before the end of the year.
Hopefully. I mean, where do you?
And that's how little movement there's been in this division. Madrimov is still being rated number 3 by Ring Magazine. And think about it, this dude, okay, he's got 2 losses and it's been against top guys like Ortiz and Crawford, but he hasn't fought since February against Ortiz, and he's still rated number 3. So that's what I'm saying. That's how little movement there's been in this division. The tectonic plates are moving very, very slowly, and it's starting to piss us a lot of us off.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I'm not interested in the division, it's not because the talent's not there. It seems like there's so many hands in the cookie jar, not fighter-wise, but we've mentioned all these different fighters. Almost all of them have a different promotional entity. And I don't know about platform to fight on. Most of them may be on DAZN. But as far as different guys to get together to try and talk to all these different minds to make things happen, and none of them seem to have it in mind that I want my guy to be the best, so let's make this happen. It all seems like I'm going to keep my guy busy by fighting X, Y, and Z to make money off, which understandable. That is part of what boxing is about on the manager/promoter level, especially in the manager level. If I keep him busy, I get paid. And the promoter, if I keep him busy, I get paid. Great. The more he wins, the more money I can make. Okay, all these things make sense. But at any moment in time, if you have so much talent in this division, you think your guy's the best, and you want to make a lot of money in this division, then you put him in with those other guys, and there seems no rush, not just from the fighters themselves, outside of verbal call-outs, which I've said on this panel before. A call-out without a contract doesn't mean anything. It just means you know how to pronounce their name. And so if these managers or promoters don't seem to want to put the money where the mouth is, that they're not putting their money where the fighter's mouth is. So Ennis is calling a lot of people out. This is fantastic, and I do like the fact he's doing it because it shows confidence, and I think he really does want to fight these guys. But Eddie Hearn doesn't seem to be putting the money behind it to try and make this happen. Now,
well, we'll see what happens. The money comes from the Sheik, so we'll see what happens next year.
Well, okay, but that kind of nullifies Hearn of being the promoter. He's now he's technically, maybe by tax code a promoter, but he's technically the manager, because if Turkey's the one putting it all up, what's Eddie Hearn doing?
Well, yeah, that's a good point, man. That's what a lot of these guys, in light of the Sheik takeover, that's what a lot of these guys have become. That's why I think a lot of them are nervous that what's their function going to be. Especially when Dana White came on board, they're like, all right, is Dana White going to be the go-to promoter now, and we're all just going to be laid out to pasture? But by the way, we also got to recognize and the Sobers jumping in here. You guys, you can jump in whenever you want.
Yo, Eddie Hearn has the.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that radio voice? Yo, that was Radio Sober.
DJ Alonzo Love.
Ah, come on, he has to keep
shake that ass radio.
Shake that. I'm gonna steal that one. Shake that ass radio.
Here's the other one. Which radio station is gonna make you suck some dick tonight? That's for the ladies.
Ah, come on.
But Eddie Hearn has like the worst eye for talent in boxing, dude. Right now, he chooses the wrong guys consistently. It's crazy, and that's probably why he's probably smartened up to that. So that's probably why he's keeping Boots, close to his chest right now. Who else does he have besides Boots? Conor Benn, or you know what I'm saying? So. And if you guys are wondering what I mean by the worst eye for talent, I mean, just look at him when he goes head up with any other promoter with his fighters. That 5v5 should have said enough against Frank Warren. I didn't think Frank Warren had any fighters, right? Any fighters of like reputable note. But he knows so much more about boxing, dude. He chose every single guy to win against Eddie Hearn's fighters. You know what I mean? This guy, Eddie Hearn, thought that Deontay Wilder could be his team captain. So that dude's shirtless black dudes. He has a type. Eddie Hearn definitely has a type. It's what I'm saying, is Anthony Joshua type, and that's the kind of fighters he looks for. I don't think he looks for talent. I think he looks for a type. So
that's his kink. You're saying that's his kink?
Yeah.
Huh. It's a good, interesting way of putting it. That's for sure. Yeah, it's true. I mean, how the fuck do you choose Deontay Wilder? I understand on the one hand, well, it's like, well, the heavyweights are usually the guys that lead the pack, especially in a mega card like that. And that was going to be the main event already. I think they already decided. So it's like, oh, I might as well make him the captain. But Frank Warren didn't make his heavyweight Zhilei Zhang the captain. He made I think Shiraz was his captain. So yeah, that's but you've got a good point there. So I think you might be onto something here.
But yeah, I feel like that's why I think he's not really in a rush to put Boots Ennis in there with anybody, like Vergil Ortiz, even Brandon Adams. Bro, let's see him fight Brandon Adams. You know what I mean?
That's a big risk, man. Though that's a big risk.
And I mean, he's gonna have to take a risk eventually. So I don't know, dude. Like when he fought this guy Lima, this guy Lima, when he fought him, right? I seen him fight before. He kind of looked like a Duarte type of fighter. What's that guy, Romain Villa? kind of stiff, like strong man, just throws like one punch, heavy punches. Too slow for someone like Ennis. I expected him to put up a little bit of a better fight. You know, they exchanged, I think, like right hands one time, and then dude got hurt, and he got put down. I've seen a couple of Ennis's fights that looked a little suspect to me. You know, that end like in the first or second round. I don't know if I'm not saying this one was, but there was another one where he fought the Canadian dude, undefeated guy. I can't remember, but like he punched him in the back of the head, and they stopped the fight really quick. There's been at least 2 fights. I have to remember the guy's names. I have to go look at it so I can not be talking on my ass. But I'll go look that up right now. But this guy has had some suspect fights before. And I've heard Eddie Hearn say that Boots Ennis can go up to 175 and compete. You know what I mean? Like, that's how much glazing he does for his fighters. So, he's going to protect him for as long as he can.
But you know what? That brings up the point out to Chief, who for dropping by. He says might come back later here. But it brings up the point because we were talking about earlier about how some people are saying like, oh man, these fights, that the potential of Ortiz versus Ennis fight is not being promoted properly. I'm thinking, well, I think this is the best you're gonna get. Neither guy is that well known, especially in the post Canelo in the post Canelo world. So this is the best we're gonna get.
Right.
Also, I wanted to point this out too, though. Boots is already 28. Ortiz is 27. So, well, we're going to wait until these guys are in their 30s the way they did with Crawford Spence? No, man, they got to make it now.
Well, how long have they already been marinating him, BDA?
At least 2 years.
Since 147?
Yeah.
So you can maybe count like at least another 2 years of talking before they actually start.
No,
okay,
man.
I sent him the contract. Sign the contract, big boy. You know what I mean?
The contract.
That's the Silver's equation. That's a Silver's equation, you know, like, well, it took 2 years of this and add another 2 years. And then if he was in a leap year, add another one. So that's the fight's going to take place.
Yeah, it's like whenever you talk to a girl and you say, hey, well, it's not a really smart question to ask, right? But some guys ask the question, how many dudes you been with? Right? Whatever answer she gives you, times it by 3.
Oh, yeah.
And there's your answer.
There you go, yeah.
Compliance,
that's a good point, man.
restoration, and roofing is saying Vergil was knocked down twice by Bohachuk.
Well, he misspelled Bohachuk.
Yeah, so maybe Vergil. So, my bad.
No, I was just going to say that. I didn't want to just focus on the whole thing about the misspelling because that happens. But what I'm saying is, what's his point, though? He got dropped, so what? So now he loses. Being dropped equals now you lose?
Chance.
I mean, that should encourage Boots, right, to fight him. He can knock him out. Bohachuk did it. Bohachuk almost did it, right?
That's a good point. Yeah, it should be an incentive. Yeah, it should incentivize Ennis and his promoter to say, "Hey, that's the fight we want."
So you guys weren't impressed with his win, right?
Well, I mean, listen. Impressed in the sense that he did what he had to. I would have been miffed if he had this is against his dude, or if it would have been a difficult fight. That would have been problematic.
Can you say that he has been tested at 154? Because I mean, I guess this was his debut. Although Amok, he keeps saying that he had already fought at 154. I don't know what. I mean, I guess early in his career, I'm gonna assume. But whatever, this is his official debut, right? After becoming a welterweight champion, has he been tested?
No.
Mr. He has the same kind of entrance to the division. Actually, he has a little bit of a heavier entrance to the division than Vergil Ortiz did. Like, just keeping it real, because who did Vergil Ortiz fight? Like Frederick Lawson, and then who was the other guy? Delorme or some shit.
Right.
So those weren't even junior middleweights.
Yes.
So as far as if you want to give him any kind of leeway, dude, like, all right, look, dude, you were a champion. You're acting like you're ready to fight all the best. Whatever. You got your foot wet. You got one round in. You know what they're gonna do is give him another fight. They're gonna give him another fight. They're gonna give him another fight. Be like, come on, that was one round, guys. Come on. Vergil Ortiz got 2. Vergil Ortiz got 2. Boots is gonna get 2. Boots is gonna get 2 tune-ups.
They wanted 2 tune-up fights. Remember, they wanted 2 tune-up fights.
They're gonna get them.
No, yeah, but initially, I know they got 1, and they're probably gonna, like you're saying, they're probably gonna get another one. That's what I keep saying. And you're right. They're gonna use that as an excuse, right? Oh, he didn't even fight 1 round. You know.
But Vergil did it. When your ex-boyfriend did it, you know what I mean?
Right.
But
well, that's the other thing, though. But that's it. I mentioned that earlier. The context. Vergil Ortiz. Oh, he took 2 tune-ups. Yeah, he took 2 tune-ups coming off an almost 2-year layoff.
He almost died,
and that very year, he takes on Bohachuk. Meanwhile, or the Ennis team were like, well, we want to move to 154. Then they dug the fight at 154 because they want a belt at 147. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like Chief said, it's kind of difficult to get excited for. You got all, you know what the 154 is? It's the tease division. They're teasing us, right? They got the tits out. They got, they're showing us the cunt and the asshole and all that, but we can't get to it. And that's the thing, though. They're showing it all, but we can't touch it. And it's fucking
behind the
aggravating.
plexiglass or something like.
Have you ever gotten so mad you try to hit the plexiglass back in the New York days, the Times Square where they had the booths? That's what's going on. That's what's making me want to do right now. I want to punch the booth.
By the way, we have a super chat from Sid White. Thank you for your super chat. He says Eddie Hearn will always look after a fighter and screw fans over. Scumbag. Yeah, it's true.
I like how he
yelling.
I like how he concludes it. Yeah, he's yelling. I like how he concludes by scumbag.
Scumbag.
Scumbag. Yeah.
Yeah. So after the fight, if you guys saw it, Eddie Hearn's like, he looks all excited and happy because, because Boots Ennis won in one round. Like, yeah, we're going after everybody. He's going to knock out Vergil Ortiz. And I'm like, you don't even believe what you're saying. Like, damn well that fight will not happen right away. If he does say, listen, don't be completely wrong, but I don't think it's going to happen right away. And, they're calling out Charlo and all these guys. It seems too good to be true. That we're going to get all these fights.
Well, the sober's theory would be that Ennis, what's his name? Hearn was so happy, not because Ennis won, but because he was standing next to a shirtless Ennis. That would be the sober.
Well, yeah, because he saw he saw the two guys fighting, and he was just happy to see those two guys in the ring. You know what I mean? It wasn't so much about who won or lost. He just started enjoying the eye candy, right?
Come on, what the fuck? But yeah, man, listen. So Butcher, you don't think that fight happens next? You think there's going to be some sort of hijinks, some chicanery?
I hope I'm wrong. I want to see that fight. I want to see that fight. I want to see that. Maybe Turkey's going to make it happen. But
hopefully. I mean, he's got the power, man. You got the touch.
Hey, but if that fight happens, by the way, if Ortiz Ennis happens like next, after obviously Ortiz beats Lubin, who's coming into that fight looking better? Obviously, we haven't seen how Ortiz is going to look against Lubin, but that's a tough fight. It's a true 154-pound contender in Lubin, and Ennis is just coming off of a fucking one-round stoppage of some guy. Like nobody knows.
Well, not for nothing, but it did cost Ortiz. Remember that when he was off for almost 2 years, and then he comes back, he has 2 tune-ups, but they ended in less than a round. Then he jumps in there against a guy like Boachuk, who's a sprinter. I mean, excuse me, he's a marathon guy. In other words, he's a guy that can go 12 rounds. He's not the quickest, but he can go 12. He's got the speed. Yeah, but what was it? What was I gonna say? Yeah, so that was a bad matchup for Ortiz to come off those. He didn't even have. I remember by the time he fought Dulorme, because remember the first guy he fought Lawson, it was a horrible stoppage from forget who the referee was, and then he fights Dulorme, and I'm thinking, okay, he should go at least 3 rounds just to shake the rust off, and he stops him in 1 round. And then he jumps in there against Boachuk with less than a round of activity in the last 2 years and almost 2 years. It was bad preparation. So yeah, Ennis should probably take another fight if he can. I don't know. I know it's a risk, but
he will take another fight. They're gonna let him take another fight, and then the only way that this fight will happen anytime soon is if Turkey, puts his petite little foot down, and he stamps it to the ground. And he goes, "I want this now, Eddie. I want this now, Eddie." You know what I mean? So. If you leave it up to Eddie Hearn and De La Hoya, we won't see that fight for another 4 years, 5 years.
Come on.
I'm serious, bro. Like you said, it's been 2 years already. How long was Crawford and Spence? About 7. How long was Manny Pacquiao and Floyd? About 7, 8.
Maybe they should wait each other. Maybe they should wait until one of them has a car accident or something.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe, yeah.
Until one of them becomes an amputee.
Exactly, yeah. Until one of them loses all his teeth. I mean, I don't know. It's one of the best fights to make. But that's, like I said, it's a bit of a conundrum because if Ennis and Ortiz were to fight right now, there's nothing at stake.
And that's another thing too. Yeah, these guys don't have. These guys are nothing like those names I just mentioned. BJ, they're nothing close to those guys, right? As far as fame or status, you know what I mean? So this is a big fight. It's a good fight. and it's an American fight. You know, it's a Mexican and a black dude. You know, two guys that hit hard. It's a very, it's like it'll be like a blockbuster fight, right? It'll be a good fight, but they want to make money off it, and these guys are nowhere near. You know, they don't have any of the prestige that they'd want, right? In order for them to make a big buck off it.
Exactly. It's a conundrum. It's a bit of a conundrum fight, and the only guy who can really make it happen is the Sheik, and hopefully he makes it. But I suspect these guys want to marinate it with titles and Ring Magazine status, undisputed, all that. So, like Butch was saying, I'm starting to lean. Exactly. So I'm starting to lean more towards your line of thinking and Butch's line of thinking that as much as I would like it to happen, I don't think we're going to see it anytime soon. And you know what we're going to see? We're going to see both guys calling each other ducks. Well, now he dug me. No, and then they're like, no, well, he dug me. And then it's just going to go on and on Twitter.
Yeah, I find it weird. Remember a few months back, Eddie Hearn wanted 2 tune-up fights for Ennis at 154. That was the plan. He wanted 2 tune-up fights. And I think Turkey told him no. Now they just had 1 tune-up fight, and all of a sudden we're ready for everybody. Like they're calling out, everybody basically. So what changed?
Mm-hmm.
Why did they want 2 tune-up fights and now they don't anymore? I find it kind of suspicious.
It's the power of the first round knockdown, man. Whenever you knock out somebody the first round, it makes you feel invincible. I lost that a long time ago. After the 4th time I did that to somebody in the streets. But I understand why most people, when they get a first round knock, it's like, oh my God, I just knocked this guy in the first round. I'm a Superman. It's like, nah, man, reality comes at you real quick afterwards for most people.
You're not that guy, BDA, who jumps up and down and starts celebrating right when you see someone's lifeless body on the ground.
I feel bad, man.
You turn around and you're like, all right, well, another day. This is nothing new. What happened?
I mean, they put me in that. They asked me to do it. If I do that to somebody, it's because they asked me to do it. You know, it's like I didn't want to do it. You asked me to do it by getting into my face, by insulting people that are with me, by brandishing a gun or something. You know what I mean? I had to take you out. What do you want from me?
Hey guys, should we talk about what happened in the UK? Heavyweight, I can't pronounce his fucking name. Makhmudov defeated Dave Allen by unanimous decision in Sheffield on Saturday night. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so it was a one-sided fucking fight. There were moments where Dave Allen looked like he was going to stop this guy, the Makhmudov. But the whole fight was him just basically moving forward, not moving his head, getting tagged. Any thoughts on this fight?
Makhmudov sucks so bad, bro. Damn, watching him and how mean he looks, it's crazy, right? Because Dave Allen is one of those guys that, you know, he says out of his own mouth, he doesn't like really care about the sport. You can see the way he shows up, the way he fights. He's half-assing it every time. And he almost knocked him out. Multiple times. He was rocking his shit. He was walking towards him. Bucho, BDA, he would put his hand behind his waist, like his right hand. He would drop it behind his waist, take steps, 3 or 4 steps, walking up to Makhmudov, and then throw an overhand right. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would telegraph this shit from Australia. And it would still fucking land flush. It would land flush on this dude's face. It would rock him against the ropes, and he's like, in slow motion. It's fucking crazy, dude, how this guy cannot see a punch coming from anywhere. So I don't even think he deserved to win like that. I was kind of hoping Dave Allen knocked him out. But I remember we were watching the fight and asked the dudes that we were watching it with, like, if it's better for boxing, if who wins, right? Makhmudov, because he's a younger dude. He can actually push the division. He has some hype. He's a big guy. But he sucks. He sucks.
What he's
going to be good for? He's going to be good for someone's highlight reel, right? Because he's a big-ass guy. So, like, what's that guy's name? Like, David Price, he would get knocked out left and right and always be, like, crazy to see him, like, a giant tumbling like that. That's what Makhmudov's going to be good for.
I mean, because he almost went down, I think, twice in this fight against, like, that guy who was, like you said, Dave Allen was telegraphing those right hands, and they were still landing a lot of times. The few times that he threw over rights, they were landing. So a better boxer than Dave Allen is highly likely going to knock this guy out. However, having said that, Makhmudov, he wants to fight Anthony Joshua. He said that Anthony Joshua said, get past Dave Allen, then we can make the fight. And apparently Makhmudov took that as like a real thing. He keeps saying that, we're going to make the fight because AJ said that on Instagram or something. Like, I think he's a bit stupid, but what do you guys think about that fight?
Sorry, which fight?
Joshua against
Joshua versus
Makhmudov.
I mean, You know what? Listen, I hate to have to pull a chief here. I didn't watch the fight, but I didn't really watch. I really didn't watch the fight. I was away from the BDA headquarters. I had no access to. I don't carry a phone with me to watch fights. But based of what you and Sober said, it sounds like Makhmudov. Look, listen, I've seen a lot of Makhmudov fights because he's fought here in Montreal. I think he's based out of Montreal, and when Caballel beat him, I was like, oh shit, this guy didn't even really do that well, Makhmudov, in that fight. But then when Caballel subsequently continued beating and pulling off upsets, I said, okay, there's no shame in losing to that guy. But Makhmudov, like Sober said, he has a weird, awkward style with dropping his hands, chin up in the air. He looks like a caveman. He looks like he's just, you guys have heard that the urban legend that this U.S. Army guys were in the desert or something, and I think it was Afghanistan, the Kandahar giant. There was the red-haired giant.
Yeah.
That's what Makhmudov looks like. He looks like if they ever do if they ever do a sci-fi recreation of that or something, sci-fi channel recreation, they should hire Makhmudov because he looks like a fucking a red-haired giant.
They should cast his face, put a mold over his face and give the giant his face, right?
Exactly. Just his face, by the way, not anything like that taint or anything. That's going too far. But what I'm saying is, he looks the part. He looks, holy shit, he's a scary looking dude for most people. And then you put him in the ring and he's awkward. He starts breathing heavily and opening up his eyes up wide when he gets hit. It's almost like he can't take the shot. So, him and Joshua, do you know what? That's a very good comeback fight for Joshua.
I think so. I agree.
Yeah. Now, the plan for Joshua is also fighting, we talked about it last time, fighting Nigeria against Bakoli.
Nigeria.
No, not a good idea.
Why not?
Well, I don't know. You think McCauley is willing to take a dive?
I don't know, man.
I mean, I tell you what, I don't think
Joshua kind of looked like shit in his last couple of fights.
Oh yeah.
But that's the thing though. Bakoli's look like shit too, though.
Yeah.
I mean, at least he wasn't getting knocked out by a judge. I mean, listen, the Parker. Do you guys put any stock in the Parker laws, though? By the way,
which one?
The Bakoli Parker.
No.
Maybe you wouldn't at first, but then he got knocked down his next fight too, didn't he?
No. He fought Akjagba after that, and it was a draw.
Oh, I fought Akjagba. Okay.
Yeah, that was a draw. Did he get dropped in that fight? I don't remember.
No, he didn't.
I thought he got knocked out twice. I can't remember by who.
All right. Well, moving on.
Well, Michael Hunter stopped him a few years back.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what I'm thinking about.
Let's talk about Guido Vianello, who scored a career best win and knockout against undefeated Alexis Barrière, I guess it's from Quebec. So what do you think? That fight was pretty exciting, actually. Any thoughts on that? Guido?
Scintillating.
It was It was a slugfest from what I remember. It was a pretty good fight. You guys are hurting each other a lot. I just remember everyone kept talking about we were watching the fight. Everyone kept talking about the origin of the word Guido and why it's this guy's name.
Right. Is he the next Arturo Gatti?
No, what are you talking about? He's not that exciting.
The heavyweight version.
I mean, listen, first of all, wait, what happened to his son? What? Oh, you're talking about Arturo Gatti.
Arturo Gatti's son.
Yeah, we talked
supposedly
about
they found him the same way they found his dad.
That's fucked up, man. That's fucked up. And I still want to find out, was that the son from the Brazilian woman who allegedly whacked him?
It is, because I remember watching a documentary on it, and after Arturo Gatti died, she was fighting with her with his family over the estate, and she ended up winning, keeping all the money.
Oh.
And then she moved to Canada with his son, and then the documentary ended on she opened up a boutique in Canada,
right,
where her son is now training in boxing.
Okay. Yeah, that's what Bucho said too as well about the boutique there.
But it was
man, that's fucked up. I guess we gotta wait for more details, see what happens, man.
What a strange thing for the son to end up just like his dad. And I don't know.
I'm pretty sure if you dig in there, we might find, we need to get recognized in there with the numerology. Or is that you, Sobers, with the gematria thing?
I'm now practicing gematria, everyone.
Who was the guy that used to draw by Repits? Remember that guy who
His
used to
name was
drop by rep?
the boxing wizard.
The boxing wizard. He was always coming up with
He was
gematria.
like some Irish guy.
Yeah, I think he got him wrong like 3 times in a row. I was like, what the fuck? Does this shit even work, man? Or what's going on, man?
Yes, he kept being wrong, and then he spazzed out BDA, where he schizoed out BDA, where he would go live and like I would go over there just like to tease him a little bit. We like to do a little bit of trolling over here. But yeah, I'd go to the chat like, oh come on, bro, you're batting less than 50, and you're doing all this math, and then I don't know, bro. He says someone hacked his channel. He says some person hacked his channel, but it was like some demon, and like he was making a different voice on panel, and he was typing in his chat as a different personality, saying, I control this channel now. It was strange, dude. He did it like once or twice during his lives, right? We're like, oh my gosh, this monster's taking over. Or there's there's 2 people there. He acts like there's 2 people there.
Fuck?
You know what I mean?
Okay, that's weird even by white TVC standards.
Right. And then that's BDA. That's the last I heard from him, bro. He did it like once or twice on live streams, and that was it. He didn't post more. His channel's gone.
Maybe the demon got to him. Paimon got to him. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
Paimon, yeah, bro. Yeah, I was watching Event Horizon yesterday. Maybe he used that to
going crazy.
Go through a different dimension, bro, and he never came back.
You know what's interesting about that Event Horizon? They actually filmed a whole bunch of scenes that ended up burning in a fire. That I think there was a warehouse fire where they stored all the reels. So we're never gonna get a director's cut out of the movie.
Wow, so there's even more. There's even more.
There was. I think there is some, but I think it's damaged. I forget the exact details. But yeah, we're not getting the director's cut anytime soon. But in regards to Guido versus Barrière, is that his name, Barrière, or what is?
Barrière.
Yeah, Barrière.
Yeah, now.
I watched. No, not Derrière. I watched a lot of his fights prior to this Guido fight, and I'm thinking, look, this dude's already 30. He's one of those classic dudes that's a southpaw, so a lot of low-level guys can't get to him because they're intimidated by the southpaw stance. But I wanted to see how he would do past the 3rd round or the 4th round, and sure enough, after the 3rd round. He just looked. Did you notice how he looked from one round to the next? He just seemed completely exhausted. Even when he got dropped the first time and he went back to his corner, Sugar Hill, who was training him, one of the first things he asked him is, what do you want to do? Because, his body language just said, get me out of here. And to his credit, he stepped out of the corner for another round. But then the second time he went down, he just looked done. That's why the ref didn't even count to 10. Did you see that? He stopped at 7 and then just waved it off. He said, this guy's donezo.
Yep, he was out, man. I knew he was out. When he went to his corner, they were talking to him. That guy wasn't even responding. I thought they were going to stop it right there, and they didn't. It went crazy.
Sugar Hill told him, that's the other thing. Sugar Hill told him, hold your head up.
Yeah, he's like,
hold your head up, because he was just looking down, dejected.
They knew he was out, they knew he was out. And then, somebody dies in the ring. It's like, oh, we got to put all these measures. Like, if you see, they could have stopped it right there. But anyways.
Exactly.
That's
a good point, man.
Especially a guy like Sugar Hill. He should fucking know this.
See, people look at the guy like Guido and they go, who the fuck is that? He sucks now. But I mean, think about it. Like world-class level, for him to be fighting consistently on TV, he's good. So all these low-level guys that have to fight him, they got to be ready to take on a dude like this. And this Barrière guy, he wasn't ready.
No. But then again, I mean, how good is Guido? We've seen him already against Akyagba, I believe.
He gave him a very tough fight. He hurt him. In that fight. That was a very difficult fight for him.
And then against Torres
beat him. Yeah. And I'm still mad about that fight because how the fucking what's his name? The referee who I always say looks like a cop. Anyway, his name's gonna come back to me. He warns Guido and then takes a point away from him for all the holding, right? And that was within the first 4 rounds. And then Guido continues doing it. And this dude then the referee stopped warning him, or even and obviously stopped deducting points because he stopped warning him. I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. He kept doing the same thing that you were reprimanding him for, and he was screaming at him in the first 3 rounds, like, "Hey, I told you!" And it's like, oh, making a big show out of it. And then after the 4th round, he allows Vianello to keep on doing it, and no more warnings and no more point deductions. So what was that about? Again, we got to keep making videos now about this, about the clinching, because some people, well, every time you bring up clinching, well, it's part of boxing. Hey, fucker, that's not an argument. low blows are part of boxing too. That doesn't mean they should be legal.
Wait, did
And
he
then
take
they
a
go,
point
yeah,
away?
but he took a point away from Vianello in that
and then
Torres
you
fight.
said he did. Oh, yeah. No, because
then
they're scared of stopping the fight. Actually, I think that's what it is. And then
Yeah,
you're gonna have
I
to deal
think
with the
that's it,
press.
yeah.
Well, the press never fucking talks to these people, but they're scared of then having to explain themselves to the commission because the promoters are gonna put pressure on the commission, and then they're probably not gonna get called again to referee a main event or a big fight. So yeah, I guess they're always afraid of stopping a fight, of disqualifying an opponent, unless it's something really crazy.
But that's the idiocy of it, because they'll disqualify a guy for low blows, like they did with that. Remember that dude that fought Jaron Anderson? I think it was Jaron Anderson. I forget who he was. A guy was scoring low blows. They stopped that fight. That was on a Top Rank ESPN card. They disqualified him. But on the same platform, ESPN Top Rank, this guy is clinching nonstop, and they don't disqualify him.
Because
Why? I mean,
clinching is not as
foul.
I guess because they don't see clinching as a good enough reason to stop a fight, even though it should be, because clinching is illegal. But I get these referees, these judges, they're all fucked up. They don't know how to judge a fight. The referees don't know how to implement the rules. So yeah, for them, a clinch is I'll warn you, and rarely do they even warn for clinching. So I'm surprised this fucking referee even took a point against in that Torres Guido fight. But yeah,
Taylor, that's his name. That's his last name is Taylor. Something Taylor is a referee. He looks like a cop, and like most cops, I'm sorry to say, they're very selective with how they enforce the law.
Corrupt.
Let me tell you something. Here in my neighborhood, we've got a law of our own, and we apply it and we enforce it nonstop, man. There's no in between. There's no favoritism. You either live by our laws or you're out of here, mister.
Yeah, it's the referee Thomas Taylor. He's probably been the most consistent referee that's been getting the job.
But he wasn't consistent that night, Guns. He wasn't consistent that night, Guns.
Hey, Gonzalo, you need a coffee, man.
Your guy's coming in already glazing this guy.
No, not consistent. It's a good performance. It's getting the top fights. Like he also fucked up
Oh,
on the
okay.
Morel fight. Remember, he called a knockdown when it was a shoulder shot. I was watching that fight last night. He fucked up that call. David Morel versus Benavidez. Remember?
Yeah, but let me just rewind to that one. If a guy hits you, if I hit you on the shoulder and you fall, that's a knockdown, isn't it? Because I touched you, I hit you, and you went down.
I punched you.
Does it have to be?
You fell.
No, we also tripped him because it was a trip too.
Well, I don't know. But what did you think of the? Did you watch the Ennis fight, Gonzalo?
I watched the extended highlights.
Yeah, I mean,
same
that's-
shit,
that's-
man.
yeah.
There's nothing.
That's
Man.
fun, yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole fight, bro. The highlights are longer than the fight.
So, give us your thoughts, Gonzalo.
I mean, what was there to watch? I mean, you just got the knock. You got the knock.
That's well said, man. That's
Yeah, I mean,
well-
what
but
can we fucking say? Is this a test? Again, it's not a test. This is not to see if he's a good 154 pounder.
You guys were talking earlier about him only fighting once a year. No. For some reason, I started thinking of Terrence Crawford. How many fights Terrence Crawford got? And Terrence Crawford's 38. He's got 41 fights. If they pattern this guy on the maybe how the Terrence Crawford blueprint is gonna be now for fighters that fit his bill, that bill, like look at what Terrence Crawford's accomplished in 41 fights. If they fight this guy once, maybe twice a year, not every year, they'll probably think, oh, we can't do what Crawford did. And we'll keep this guy, we'll preserve him where he's not getting a lot of wear and tear. We'll selectively pick the opponents and get him the titles. And, by the time he's Crawford's age, maybe a little younger, he's done what
You're
Crawford's
like
done.
60 tune-ups. You're like 50 tune-ups.
Yeah, because he's 27. That's 10 years from now. That's 10, 11 fights, maybe 2 fights every other year. He gets another 15 fights in, and by the time he's Crawford's age, he's probably still undefeated with the right opponents and got a lot of accolades as well.
Yeah, Sobers made a good point, though, that Eddie Hearn is really sticking to this guy like glue for various reasons, but chief among them is the fact that that's really the only guy he's got at this point. I mean, he's lost a lot of his fighters have lost a lot of lusters, so now he's got this American guy. I mean, the American media, we've seen this past year how they love to prop up certain fighters. And so that's what Eddie Hearn's got. And by the way, who has Aitama? That's Frank Warren, right?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yes.
How did he beat Eddie Hearn for Aitama? Because usually it's Eddie Hearn for the past 15
He has
years.
a better eye for talent.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're probably right.
And Altama might be a little too light skinned for Eddie's taste, you know.
But yeah, man. But yeah, the Guido thing. Going back to the heavyweight thing, yeah, Guido. He's a good. What's the word I'm looking for here? A gatekeeper. And he's a good. He's not even in the top 10, but he can compete with these dudes. And so anybody, you know what? Him versus Joshua. I think Joshua could beat him, but why take a risk? Put him in there against Makhmudov. Okay, yeah, Makhmudov's a big puncher, but he's not that well versed when it comes to defense. Whereas Vianello, he's a little bit awkward. He's got a sneaky right hand. Why take on that problem coming off a year layoff?
No, Makhmudov, bro. He's a guy. He's a stiff. He'll stay there for until Joshua lines up his right hand. You know, and he'll go down eventually. He'll take a couple of them, but he'll go down. And he's not really going to offer much back that Joshua won't be able to see coming. I mean, he can barely. I don't know, dude. That fight was ass. Him and Dave Allen. I like this guy. I expected more from him, but yeah.
I don't even feel like watching it. Hey, didn't Guido Vianello call out Chisora, or am I wrong?
I don't know. That'd be crazy.
I think I heard that.
Chisora fight him too, man.
He's the one to fight in the Coliseum now.
Yeah, he said he's got one fight left, his retirement. So maybe she called him out for his retirement.
He's like Quentin Tarantino. He's got one movie left, and he's just shopping around to see who wants it. That's what Chisora is doing. That's why he rejected the Aitama fight. Not enough money. He's like, hey man, it's my last fight. Pay me.
Right. And I guess he gets what he wants too, right? Because I've heard him at plenty of press conferences saying, no, you're gonna give me more, or I'm gonna walk out. And they're like, come on. They're right there like trying to calm him down. And he's done that shit multiple times, right? And then he ends up fighting, so I'm sure they give him what he wanted.
I mean, Chisora really the pinnacle of his insanity had to have been that Vitaly Klitschko fight where he slaps Vitaly Klitschko at the win. And then as he's going into the ring the day after, Vladimir is standing next to Vitaly, and Chisora walks by the both of them and spits in Vladimir's face. By the way, the gayest thing was that Vladimir got spit on, and then he starts puckering his lips, like he's licking the.
He licked his lips and then started nodding his head like.
Exactly. He thought he was badass. He thought that was badass. Like, no, man, that's fucking gay. You're licking another man's spit. But the other thing is then on top of that, he gets into a fight with David Hay. Oh no, wait. When was the press conference fight between Hay and Chisora? Was that after?
Him?
Yeah, was that after the Vitaly fight?
I think that was after, but I love that. Probably my favorite moment, dude.
So that was the peak of Derek Chisora's insanity, that within the span of 24 hours, he created 2 near riots and then finally one big fist fight there where he got glassed. What a maniac.
I think he hit him with the plastic bottle, to be honest. Like, he punched him.
Well, that's the thing. He didn't even hit him with the bottle. He was holding the bottle, and he hit him while holding the bottle, but he didn't actually smash the bottle in his face.
And he's saying they glassed him. Like, no.
They glassed me.
He glassed me.
Meanwhile, the Klitschko was just
shoot David Hay.
Oh yeah, he said something like that, right? He was gonna. I mean,
he was gonna shoot David Hay.
Fucking maniac, man.
He was gonna do like they shot Kennedy there.
David Hay like whooped his ass and like two of his entourage, like his trainer.
He's gonna pull a Jack Ruby. He's like,
Jack Ruby. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised that dude. When I saw all of that happen, that was what, 2011, I would say, or 2012. I forget. It was in the early 2010s. I remember thinking, this dude ain't gonna make, like, he's gonna die at some point. He's gonna get suspended or banned from the sport. And to his credit, he sort of, I don't know what was wrong with him back in those days, but he seemed to straighten out, and he never did anything that
he's
crazy.
Some kind of respected veteran now, huh?
Exactly. Like a little bit like Tyson. He went from being a maniac to an out of control maniac to a guy that, he's a lovable oaf type of thing.
He's a lovable oaf. Yeah, exactly.
What do they say in England when they call the older people onk? That's what they call him, Unc, short for uncle. Yeah, that's why I was surprised.
Really?
I would see these like ethnic. I would see these ethnic people who are living in England, like like Arabic looking guys or whatever, and they would go, hey Unc, and they're calling a guy Unc, and I'm thinking, oh, he's uncle, and then it turns out no, that's just what they call older people, Unc. Hey Unc, sup Unc. Riveting conversation we're having here. Bucho, what else do we have on the docket?
What you got for us, Unc?
The Zone. This is from boxing news. The Zone CEO discusses future of pay-per-view, the Ring Pass. So they want to add this thing called the Ring Pass to the Zone. So you're gonna be paying, I guess, more. They haven't released the price yet, but basically you get the Zone, you get the Ring Pass, and there's no more pay-per-views.
What?
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing here. A subscription package developed in collaboration with Saudi Arabian boxing chief Turki Al-Sheikh. Turki Al-Sheikh. This initiative aims to phase out the traditional high-cost pay-per-view structure, creating a more fan-centric ecosystem that rewards loyalty. What am I reading? A press release? What is the press release? I mean, what the fuck is that? No, anyways, they don't really explain, but I assuming that's what it is, though. The Ring Pass.
We're gonna create a diverse landscape. Like, what the fuck? You're charging us more. That's what it means.
Refreshing. I mean, get the fuck out of here. What is this shit? It's just
ecosystem. He sounds like
they're basically saying you're gonna pay an additional fee, and you won't have to pay any pay-per-views during the whole year.
That's ridiculous. Oh, once we crunch, we gotta send it to the BDA accountant. The Asian guy that we have in a basement somewhere, crunching numbers. Let him crunch the numbers and see if we actually save money by having that. What's it called? The Ring Pass?
Yes, sir. The Ring Pass.
The Ring Pass. Well, listen, it might be worth it. I did get an email because now I remember I did hear something about that because somebody sent me a private DM on Discord, and he said, instead of clicking on the zone.com, logging in, clicking on Ring Pass and giving you credit card information, he said that what you can do is you go to any non-corporate browser, you click in watch fight for free, and you're going to be able to watch the fights that way. That's what he was telling me. And I don't condone that, but they were telling me that that's the other method.
Well, that makes sense. We're going to have to wait and see how that shit works. They also mentioned the recent entry into Netflix, acknowledged it's a massive global reach and a sign of the sport's growing appeal. While welcoming the competition, he asserted that the zone's focus remains on delivering the most comprehensive boxing experience. The move comes as traditional broadcasters like HBO and Showtime have exited the sport. Okay, whatever. We know that shit. And in the news here,
in that press release.
Yeah, Diego Pacheco to face Kevin Lele Saggio on December. On December 13th, undefeated super middleweight contender Diego Pacheco will headline a matchroom boxing card on December 13th at the Adventist Health Arena in Stockton, California. His opponent will be fellow undefeated contender Kevin Lele Saggio. Who the fuck's that? I heard that.
Well, first of all, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, read the full name because you're Kevin Lele. That's not his last name. That's not his real name.
Okay, hold on. I didn't. Oh, yeah, here we go. He's a number 5 contender in the Ring magazine, apparently, at 168. His opponent, the Cameroon-born Frenchman, Saggio, 26-0 with 23 knockouts. Whoa. He's also
35 years old
and brings significant power, having stopped 9 of his last 10 opponents. The card will also feature prospects Ernesto Mercado. That was the guy that was trying to remember his name. Ernesto Mercado and Gabriel Flores Jr. So that's on December 13th.
I'm going to have to check out this gentleman, see what his skills are, because already there's a big red flag. He's 35. Okay, he's 35. Oh. Second of all, yeah, he's a big puncher. He's got 26 fights, 26 wins, 23 knockouts. So he's undefeated. But again, he's a 35-year-old. I'm looking at his record. And again, the most important thing is to watch him fight. But so far, the only recognizable names I see are Jack Cullen, Diego Chavez, who used to be a welterweight, and Martin Ezequiel Bulacho. No, that's got to be an Argentinian guy.
One of those Argentinian guys. Billy Duck, like this guy.
Diego Chavez, not the Argentinian BDA.
Diego Chavez, yeah, that's another Argentinian. Yeah, so he's got 2 Argentinians. So wait a minute. So who's saying what?
Billy Duck Saggio.
Is that right?
Damn, okay. Who said that? Telcanese?
No, Sergeant.
Sergeant, okay.
Is his
What do you
name
think
Fat Joe?
Oh, Fat Joe.
Kevin Saj.
All right, so apparently, so he has an impressive record, but he hasn't fought anybody. And what else? He's 35.
He looks like Mbili a little bit, you know, because you said he's from Cameroon, right? And Mbili is from
Cameroon.
What country is Mbili from again?
Cameroon, France, and now he's fighting out of Montreal, obviously. But
I think so is Francis Ngannou, right?
yes.
But yeah, that's yes, and it's interesting because this dude
French. Cameroon is like a French-speaking country.
Hey, I think this guy fought Mbili in the amateurs. Could be wrong.
That makes
Well,
sense.
Anyway, but what I'm
that's why he ducked him.
Maybe. I'm looking at this guy, and yeah, he does fight. First of all, he does look a little bit like Mbili, and he fights a little bit like a proto Mbili, not as fast, not as what's the word I'm looking for here? Vicious in either speed or power, but he's a strong guy. He looks, like I said, he looks slower. So, but that's the other thing, though. Okay, so Pacheco's fighting this dude. Pacheco hasn't looked all that hot in his last couple of fights. So he's probably, this is going to be another Pacheco fight where he's
new trainer.
I know, but this is probably going to be another fight where he's looking to box from afar, use his height and reach and all that. And not for nothing, but that's just boring at this point. I want to see some knockouts, or at least some knockdowns. Come on now.
I don't know. Maybe he's going to be joining forces with Robert Garcia. That's my wish.
Well, that's where everybody goes, right? After, I mean, all the Hispanic fighters.
And they look better. Just remember
for
Joshua?
the most part.
How he looked against Usyk in the second fight?
Joshua looked better. Yeah, I think he looked much better against Usyk in that second fight than he did against anybody.
And that's because of Robert Garcia, man.
Yeah. The way he was fighting, dude. I remember watching that fight against that rematch with Usyk, and I was like cringing at moments, thinking like, "Fuck, man, he might drop. It might fuck him up." He was what he was fighting, you know, with the body shots. I was like, "Oh shit!" You know what I mean? Like, get out of there, like, you know what I mean? But you know, like, I don't know why. They just stopped working together because whatever, the conflict of interest shit. But I don't know. I think that would have been a great coach for him to stay with.
But we'll see what happens to Pacheco.
But then Joshua's a black supremacist, so he might not have been okay, like, submitting himself.
That is true. That is true. Against
that's a good point.
Who is this fucking spick telling me what to do?
Yeah.
Who? Hey, Robert.
This fucking Vina.
Hey, Robert, shut up.
Who's this fucking Vina?
Hey, Robert. Robert, shut up. Don't disrespect me. Hey, by the way, I just wrote the guy's name, Kevin Lele Saggio. I wrote the name Kevin Saggio on YouTube just to see, because I'm watching some of his highlights. There's a video by a channel named History of Boxing EN. I think that's English. 264 views because he titled it "The Most Avoided and Deadliest KO Machine from Cameroon." I like how he had to label it as from Cameroon, you know, at the end there, from Cameroon, because he's not the most deadly. But yeah, man, that's got a shitload of views, that video. And OG Blaze in the chat is saying that I said they all look the same. I didn't say that, number one. But number two, not for nothing, but if you watch him from the back when he's fighting, he's very tenacious like Mbili, and he kind of does look physically like Mbili. So this is an interesting, you know, when I saw that in the schedule that Pacheco was going to be fighting, I said, Lele, he's fighting a guy named Lala. I don't want to see that. But now I'm looking at this dude, I'm saying, oof, it's a difficult fight. Yeah, it's a difficult fight, that's for sure. Interesting fight.
All right. Yeah, very interesting fight. We'll see what happens with Pacheco, if who the new trainer will be. Let's see what else I have here in the news. Sebastian Fundora suffers hand injury. Thurman fight postponed. We talked about this on the last show. Hey.
Okay, so you guys told me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yo, so I told you guys last time that I had a connect, right? And I gave you a name for my source, right? Ernesto. So he hit me up the other day. I couldn't get on the show, so I'll drop what he said now. You know what I mean? He said, it's Ernesto time. He says Benavidez is making a professional company and wants to take the Chicago market. So keep an eye out for that coming soon.
Oh.
And Benavidez, their own promotional company.
All right.
In Chicago.
Yeah, what Chicago?
And he wants to take over Chicago.
Yeah, he wants to take over
Chicago has Chicago has a big Mexican population that's ripe for the picking because usually everybody sticks to when they stick to the East Coast, they go to New York, Philadelphia, maybe, and on the West Coast, of course, California. But in between, you got Chicago, big city, and there's a lot of Polish guys there too. That's why for a while there, Andrew Golada would fight there because sizable Polish population. But there's a lot of Mexican. I think Juan Diaz used to fight, or maybe I could be mistaken. But yeah, it's maybe makes sense. No one's doing any boxing over there. Yeah, there you go. Are there Latin Kings in Chicago, or that's Puerto Ricans, right?
No, that's Latin Kings is like the.
Oh, Latin Kings is the Chicago
like
is
the Latin America. How do you say it?
Yeah, like Chicago is the the original Latin Kings, I want to say.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was mainly Puerto Ricans and I think Mexicans too.
Well, it would make sense then to get a bunch of the Mexican market over in Chicago.
Chicago had a lot of Cubans at that time too.
Is that right? Oh yeah, that's what. Yeah, I think I saw a cooking show one day, and they were talking about the Cuban sandwiches and all that over there in their popular hotspots of restaurants. Yeah, in Chicago. Yeah, they got these popular restaurants over there.
Can I get the communist way, brother? They say, can I get an Aki star or some shit?
Can I get a communist?
Can I get that Castro? Can I get that Castro style?
You're gonna get Don Francisco to call in, man. He's gonna give us Cuban sandwich recipes. But hey, what was I gonna say about the? There was one fight I was gonna talk about. I forget. I'm watching this Kevin Lala Saggio fight. He's fighting a dude by the name of Sven Elbir, and this dude is they're going to war. So yeah, hey man, Pacheco. I don't know if he beats this dude. I think he's gonna box him from the outside, or maybe this dude is so crazy that he jumps on Pacheco and he opens up too much and Pacheco knocks him out. Either way, it's gonna be an interesting fight.
I think Pacheco, he's a very patient fighter, and you might say he's too patient. He kind of, almost waits too long to throw his shots. But when he does throw, he's usually landing, so he has a good accuracy, he has a good right hand. But yeah, as he stepped up in competition, his activity seems to keep going down. The knockouts aren't coming like they were. So a switch up in trainers is good. Him leaving Team Benavidez. And another thing that I want to say, since kind of brought Benavidez, I heard him doing an interview about his future, or whatever, and talking about still working with Al Heyman, PBC, and how they've been so good to me, and I'm just going to be loyal, and we'll do all that good shit, right? And I like, bro, you can't see what happened in front of him. Like, even though I was I was like the main person saying I don't want Canelo and Benavidez to fight. It's like, bro, you can't see that this guy had you both on the same stable. And he's been working with you since around your career, since the beginning of his career, right? Al Heyman and Benavidez, since early in his career. And he had Canelo for 1 or 2 years. And so he's saying that Al Heyman was looking on his best interest. Dude, they didn't even mention you with Canelo. You know what I mean? And that's the fight you've always wanted, right? That's the fight that would have took him over the top. And this dude that he worked with for 1 year, 2 years, he completely brushed you to the side and act like you didn't fucking exist for a year and a half. You know what I mean? Getting you other bullshit fights. And I don't know how he says that's in his best interest. You know what I mean? He clearly kind of shunned you to favor this dude, and he's been working with you for so much longer. Where you're saying the loyalty, and he treated you well. Why did he try to deliver you that fight? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point, man.
So he should see what's up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like the same thing with Fundora, man. I mean, he's with. I mean, think about it. That the rumor is that, and I don't know if this is true or not, but the rumor is that Thurman fight fell apart because the pre-sales for the tickets, they're horrible, so they just had to implode it to save face. That's who he's on board with, that type of company. Just cut ties with the PBC.
And they jerked around Tim Tszyu too, with Keith Thurman.
Oh yeah. They ruined his career pretty much.
Yeah.
Who knows how else he would have done had he stayed in Australia and fought over there. The big names would have gone over there instead of him being bamboozled by, oh, you're going to fight this guy. Oops, sorry, at last minute, you're going to fight this guy. Tee-hee. I mean, come on. Yep. They harangued the guy.
Benavidez's career didn't go the way it should because, Benavidez said that in the interview, these guys didn't want to fight me. And okay, so who are these guys? First of all, let's go through the names. Who do you think these guys mean? Who is he referring to? Charlo
Just
Plant.
Well, obviously Canelo.
Charlo Plant. Canelo. Besides Canelo, because nobody can force Canelo to do whatever, anything. But couldn't Al Heyman have forced Charlo or Plant to fight him earlier? Because Plant fought Benavides eventually. But I mean, I'm talking about years ago. Couldn't have Al Heyman done anything?
Well, remember that Caleb Plant fight was there in 2021, and Lukowitz said he didn't want it. So I mean, it's you can blame everybody else, but when you're turning down fights, I mean, what's the logic there? I mean, yeah, listen, like we said in the last episode, cutting ties with Lukowitz, that's the best move he can make right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Couldn't get him the Canelo fight. I wanted the TV rights. We offered him $50 million, which wasn't even true. What's the point of lying? Is there
It's $50 million one day, then it's 100. They got it from the Donald Trump
turned
party.
down $200 million?
Is that a fight?
We offered him $200 million.
It's from the. He read it from the.
Numbers,
It's the art of the deal.
Yeah. That's right.
Or like every other interview, it's like if he adds $10 million to the deal, he's like, we offered him 50. He turned down 60. Who would turn down $100 million? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What else we got here?
Now that's where Benavides is at light heavyweight.
Maybe could have unified with Caleb and even Zurdo.
Yeah,
that's probably where he's going to go next.
A moment that he could, yeah. Karen Chuknazazia. Let's just call him Karen. The guy who fought Boots Ennis twice. He just stopped Joel Marcos Mafaud in 2 rounds. Welterweight contender Karen scored an impressive second-round knockout victory over Joel Marcos on Saturday in Latvia. So yeah. So basically, he fought this guy who was 13-2 with 5 knockouts, with a series of punches, including 2 left hooks and uppercuts. That's how he stopped them. Anyways, now Karen is best known for being one of the few fighters to go full distance with Boots Ennis. He remains highly ranked by the WBO number 4 and IBF number 6 at 147. So he's still out there, I guess. I don't know who he can fight.
The welterweight division, man. The fact that Pacquiao Romero is something that they're trying to pull off just goes to show you how weak the division is right now, and maybe that Karen can make something happen. Well, so something's wrong, all right. But maybe for Karen, maybe something is right, and maybe he can exploit that weak division.
Yep, I'm trying to think.
Oh my goodness! Imagine he becomes a champion and he like beats Pacquiao and stuff. And
hey, Max, I can see it. I can see that.
Jeez,
who's at welterweight right now? I mean, Devin Haney is probably going to become a champion pretty soon, right?
Brian Norman Jr. Do you think he can beat Haney, or do you think they're even going to fight?
I hope
feel
not,
like
but I
something's
think
going to happen. That fight's not going to happen.
No, that fight's going to happen. I think he's going to pull it off. I think it's going to be a boring ass fight. He's going to probably be in danger at some point, but he's going to clinch himself into a fucking 12-round unanimous decision or something like that. So we're going to have Haney as a champion. We're going to have Rolly as a champion who's fighting Pacquiao probably. And there's a vacant belt, I guess. And there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the fact that Barrios, listen, I really thought Barrios was going to beat Pacquiao. I said, look, Pacquiao hasn't fought in over 3 years. He's fighting a guy who's longer, faster, younger, younger, faster, longer. And then he looks like ass in that fight. And I remember people calling in after the fights. One of the big points of contention was whether Barrios actually took it easy on Pacquiao. For which reason, again, what would be the motive? I don't know. I certainly didn't see him taking it easy on Pacquiao. I just saw, this is a guy that lost to Tank Davis for Pete's sakes. He lost to Tank Davis, barely beat Akhmadaliev, or what was his name? Akhmedov at 140. And what was the other thing? He struggles mightily against Jesus Ramos.
Ramos almost knocked him out, didn't he?
Yeah,
and he lost to Thurman.
He fought the uncle, right?
He lost to Thurman. Yeah, that's one. Yeah, the other one. And then he loses to Thurman in 2022, who'd been out of the ring since 2019. I mean, come on, this dude just ain't that good, man. I think I overrated him a little bit. I gave him a little bit too much credit, apparently.
Also, he was fighting an old Pacquiao, like a really old Pacquiao at this point.
Seriously.
He's not that good. And yeah, Pacquiao's far from his prime. Yeah, he's washed. Pacquiao doesn't even have the same power because it mostly comes from his explosiveness. But the thing that still makes Manny Pacquiao dangerous against anybody, especially to a guy like you said that's not that good like Barrios, is his footwork. He just doesn't stop hopping around like a bunny, changing the angles. So that's always going to be difficult to pin him down and land a clean shot against him. Yeah, he himself is not landing; he's pushing his punches. Pacquiao is. He's not fighting with the same explosivity. But the opponents at the same time, since he's also still darting in and out, once again, it's hard to pin him with a precise punch in return. So
That's a good point.
He becomes very difficult to fight even in his 40s. Late 40s.
That's a great point. That's a great point. But he went against conventional wisdom that this dude could stay out of the ring for 3 years, over 3 years. Because he fought Ugas in the summer of 2021, and then 4 years. God, so 4 years. You're younger, you're longer, you're faster. I don't care how good Pacquiao was in his prime. You're supposed to be able to take care of a dude who hasn't fought in over 4 years, who's in his mid 40s. The fact that didn't happen is just. I mean, I think I've been trying to give Barrios a little bit too much credit. But no, man, this dude is just not that good. By the way, we've got boxing tonight on the zone.
What?
Yoenlis Hernandez. Yeah, Yoenli Hernandez. One of those new Cuban guys who's actually entertaining. He's the last time he fought, he beat Jaron Davis. He beat him up earlier this year. He's fighting a guy by the name of Carlos Mohamed Rodriguez. 10-round middleweight bout on the zone.
Mohamed Rodriguez.
Is that that guy from Canelo's camp? Is that the Cuban from Canelo's camp?
Yes, that's the same guy. He's fighting Carlos Mohamed Chang Rodriguez Barriere. That's his name.
Wait,
He's
what?
No, but in all seriousness, his full name. His full name is Carlos Mohamed Rodriguez.
Wow.
Yeah, that's an interesting mix, I guess.
Mohammed.
It sounds scary. I don't know why.
It sounds very close.
That's Mohamed Rodriguez, motherfucker.
Instead of naming him like his middle name Miguel, they said, "Nah, we're gonna go with Mohammed."
Yeah, exactly, man. Now, imagine how.
Imagine the name was Jesus, then Mohammed or Mohammed de Jesus.
Imagine. Could you imagine being this guy at the airport? Every time he flies, he probably gets stopped. He probably, they start putting on the latex gloves. All right, sir, we're just gonna have to look in your ass. And like he's used to it. Mohammed.
Why do you need that lube? What are you doing with that lube?
Oh, they don't even use lube sometimes. Believe me, I've been there. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
DBA likes to go there all the time.
No.
I prostate check. I'm not going anywhere.
Hey, I already checked last week, man. What are you coming back for?
I don't have a flight scheduled. I'm just here for a good time.
Yeah. Mr. BDA, we've already told you once, if you're not going to travel, you can't pass the gate. I was like,
Come on.
For all time's sakes,
When you mentioned there and the welterweights, are you talking? Does Rolly Romero have a belt?
Yeah.
How
did he get that fucking belt? I'm confused. Was he elevated to full champion, full status, or whatever the fuck?
I think so.
Yeah, and that's why I think that, they're making Pacquiao Rolly, which is a winnable fight for Pacquiao.
Hey, Gonzalo, can you see some people are foreseeing a fucking Marquez Pacquiao 4 type of knockout?
No, not with Rolly. I don't think so. I mean, he does hit hard, but
all right.
I actually think Pacquiao wins that fight. That's crazy, man.
I think the plan is for Pacquiao to beat Rolly and then finally fight Tank Davis.
You know what I'm thinking, by the way, about that? I expected Pacquiao to look bad against Barrios, and instead he looked way better. Yeah. Now I'm expecting him to look good against Romero, and then imagine Romero actually beats him decisively.
Man, listen, did you see Rolly didn't throw any punches against Ryan Garcia, though? I mean, sure, he knocked them down.
Yeah, but he got lucky in that fight. He got lucky. He made Ryan Garcia shit his pants with that knockdown. And then Garcia got scared, but Garcia was still peppering him with jabs. I didn't see Romero land anything of note in that fight. I was actually surprised they gave him the decision.
I felt like Rolly, I wasn't scoring the fight, but I felt like just Rolly won the fight. But I know it was extremely boring. Nothing really happened. And then there was a knockdown on top of that. But yeah, nothing really fucking happened in that fight. Like, listen, there's this idea now that Rolly's some sort of monster. I think people are forgetting that that the whole fight that he had with Garcia, it was a boring ass fucking fight. It was a knockdown early, but that's it. Nothing happened.
And then look at what Isaac Cruz did to him.
Yeah.
So yeah, Pacquiao, you're right. Pacquiao might fuck him up, man.
Yeah, because Ryan Garcia, I think you guys have said it before. It's true. Ryan Garcia comes straight at you in a straight line. And at least, fucking Pitbull Cruz ducks his head. He throws like these over the top punches. Yeah, he's got that frenetic energy always coming forward. But with Pacquiao, kind of the same. Yes, he's old, but he's going to be coming to you from different directions. So he's not going to be coming at you like Ryan Garcia in a straight line. That fight, nothing happened. Pretty much, Rolly was prepared to block the punches as he came to him in directly straight against him. But with you have Pacquiao, like moving. Okay, how do you prepare for that? Even though Pacquiao's not the same, Rolly doesn't have the experience.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. It's Rolly Romero. Think about it. He's already 28, right? He's older than Ryan Garcia, I think, and he's got less than 30 fights. Let me check his official record here. It's insane how few fights these dudes have, and they're already they're going near their 30s already, and they don't really have them. I mean, Romero. Let's see how many. He's 29. He's 29, and he's got less than 20 fights. Total fights, he's got 19 fights, 17 wins, 2 losses. And he's going to be 30 years of age. Can you believe that? Could you imagine the 90s? Hey, Oscar De La Hoya, he's already 29 and he's got 18 fights or 19 or whatever, like 20 fights. I mean, come on, that's insane. These dudes, look, if I'm looking at Romero's schedule, even in the beginning of his career, he fought once in 2016, twice in 2017. Finally, he fought 4 times in 2018, and then 3 times in 2019. And then after that, okay, I know the pandemic slowed everybody's roll. But even then, he fought twice in 2021, once in 2022, once in 2023. Again, that's because, see, that's the thing. We're talking about Benavides and Fundora staying with the PBC. Why would you want to stay with a dying outfit that they can't even get you dates? And I understand. Look, listen, I understand the same thing goes for guys like Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. They have less than 20 or just a little bit over 20 fights. But still, it's how the fuck are you going to be having 1 fight per year? And then I guess Ismael Barroso. And I know he was supposed to be the other dude. I forget the Dominican guy. But still, I mean, Romero, what's Romero's claim to fame then? A win over Ryan Garcia. And then after that, it's the controversial win over Jackson Mariñez. That's really all he's got. Other than that, he's been stopped by Gervonta Davis and Isaac Cruz.
Yeah, and the Barroso fight. The Barroso fight where he got
You are connected as the host.
And
welcome.
The Barroso's fight is probably his most significant one, dude, because he was getting pieced up, about to get stopped. It looked like he was losing the exchanges. He was getting hurt. He was missing his shots. And then the referee separates them, and he's like acting like he's protecting Barroso's.
Yeah, he retired after that one, Tony Weeks.
Good.
Couldn't even. There was no way to.
Good riddance to bad rubbish. Fuck out of here with that shit, bro.
Yeah, him and Tony Weeks. Although now we got Harvey Dock, who appears to be the replacement. He's the go-to guy now. Like, all right, we need the American fighter. Yeah.
Right.
All right, we're gonna open the phone. The phones are open. If you wanna call in, number on your screen. Let us know what you thought about the fights that we had yesterday. Specifically, Boots Ennis. Is he going to take over 154?
It's the Boots takeover.
See, look, I will say that about Ennis, right? He did what the fuck he was supposed to do. Like, he kind of surprised me how fast he knocked the guy out, right? But like I said, he's had a couple suspicious fights. Is it Castillo Clayton? Is that who he fought?
Right, a Canadian guy, yeah.
I think. Yeah, he hit him in the back of the head. That was a weird knockout, right? I thought that fight was weird. But he had another
what I like about Ennis though is that he's knocking these guys out. He's wiping the floor with them.
That's what I'm saying. He's doing what he's supposed to do. What he did against fucking what's his name, Lima, that's what I wanted Canelo to do against Crawford, right? So you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, listen,
so he's doing what the fuck. Yeah, they keep feeding him trash, but I mean, at least he's knocking him the fuck out, and he's like, getting his little highlights.
Absolutely. But here's the thing, though. If he would have knocked him out in 3 rounds, and I would have seen something out of Lima, like put up a fight, I would have been more impressed with Ennis because oh shit, he beat a guy that came to fight that wasn't that bad. Who was
Right.
a true 154. But no, when you get knocked out like that, I was like, okay, this guy Lima, it was trash.
It's weird. Like, bro,
He-
not one punch.
no
You couldn't
defense.
take one punch.
No, no, why exactly, man? Come on, come on.
Yeah, that was a weird fight. I don't know how they got that guy on
Wasn't
TV, man.
blocking
Because
anything.
There's evidence that Lima threw that fight.
Some people are saying that.
wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he paid him in.
Bro, it's weird. One punch.
He gave him a couple of Philly cheesesteaks after the fight.
Oh,
That was-
wait,
that
those
was
are good,
fun.
man. I
Did
throw
you get him-
a
did you get him
fight
Auntie
for a
style?
couple of those.
Oh yeah, they're good.
Well, no, for real, FUTV was saying it was a fake fight.
Yeah, but FUTV says
thought it
that
was
about
fake.
every fight.
No,
Right.
I thought, who else? Furioso was saying that. Oh,
No, I feel the same way, bro. My look, I changed my YouTube name to Boring Fake. Boring Fake Sport or Boring Rig Sport, aka boxing.
Wait a minute. So that's it, huh? People are throwing down throwing in the towel, and they're going with the whole boxing is fake thing.
I don't think it was a fake fight. I just think the guy was trash. No defense.
That is so 2021. Hey, but I wanted to say this, man. This guy's a loser. I wanted to say that Jaron Ennis GIF you got there in the lower left-hand corner,
Yeah.
where he's slowly getting closer and it's changing colors. If somebody's doing mushrooms or something, they're gonna start freaking out if they stare at that too
creeping
long.
me out
Man.
as well,
I think you
man.
should.
Yeah, I'm gonna-
You should take that. We did have a guy send an email once. He's saying he had taken too much, he smoked too much PCP or something while listening to the show, and he was freaking out. He wanted advice. And I think Jimmy just said, "Hey man, just stare at your hands, man. Just stare at your hands, bro." Something like, I forget what it was.
What the fuck?
But yeah, we do have a varied audience. We have a very upscale audience, but we also have the everyday man, and then we've got the dregs of society. You know, the people who are smoking meth and PCP and
The
crystal
real
meth.
heroes.
And
The real
nothing.
heroes.
I'm not judging, by the way. I'm not judging. I think it's a free country. People should do, even if it harms them, they should be able to do it. But I just, and by the way, I was kidding, Butcher. Don't take it away, man. Don't take it off.
I took it off, man. Actually, I was looking at it. Look at the fuck tongue, like sticking his tongue out.
All right. But did you guys see the Floyd Mayweather video?
Which one?
I heard about it.
There was a D-Block posted it on Twitter. There's like these girls are, girls nowadays, they record themselves all the time. And they're in a restaurant, and then one of them goes, I think she's recording herself with that stick. You know where you get the stick and you get the phone?
Like a tourist,
So
like a
it's
Chinese.
an
tourist.
Yeah, the selfie
Yeah.
stick.
Yeah, like a Chinese tourist, exactly. The selfie stick. Yeah, and she's walking with her friend, and she goes, "Oh, that's Floyd Mayweather. Oh, that's Floyd Mayweather." And then they look at him, but you don't see him in frame. And she goes, "Hi," like she waves at him, and then they're leaving. They go, "Oh my God, that's Floyd Mayweather." Yeah, but I mean, that's I don't want to. And then some guy comes over, an Afro-Anglo dude, exits the restaurant. He goes, "Yeah, he's speaking real low. He goes, yeah, he wants your number. No, he wants your number." He says, "She goes, oh, he
Shut
wants
the
what?"
fuck up.
I'm not, Butch. I'm gonna send it to you. I think you should play it instead of me
Should I
talking
play
about
it?
it. I think we should show it to. I mean, it's not
Did you watch
copyrighted
the
or
fucking
anything,
video
but,
first? Because did you watch the video?
I did. I did.
It
That's
can't
why.
be
That's
true,
why I'm
man.
describing it. There's
Alright,
no.
then.
Listen. There's no. I don't know if you're afraid it's gonna get
You
popping out or
want to know.
something.
yo.
You know what's the
Easy,
funny
boy.
thing that was said about that video? When the girl said, she says, "I'm a little scared," and she's like, "It's just Floyd Mayweather. It's not like he's gonna knock you out." I was like, "Oh damn."
Hey.
He has no
Hey, the
history of
girl is
violence. No
smart.
history
First
of
of all-
violence.
Yeah. No history of violence.
No, I was
you know,
like, no, she's right. He's not gonna knock you out. He can't.
come on. Don't He first of all, he could hit harder than people. People make it out to be like the guy was pulling Malignaggi. But
Fucking around.
Yeah, but the joke too is what Butcher said, that this guy did go to jail for assaulting women. So he's not gonna hurt you thing. That falls on deaf ears. I mean, that's a little an empty statement, if you will.
Yeah, people say, he had brittle hands because from all the years of boxing and sparring. I think it was from
No.
all the years of sparring with his old lady. You know what I'm saying? I think
I knew he was gonna.
put his hands on her skull, bro.
I knew he was gonna go there. How dare you, man? On top of her head. you make it seem like he's just smashing her on top of the head with the side of his fist, like in the cartoons where they hit a guy a bunch of times and they bury him in the ground like in the cartoons. Like that's what
Yeah,
he used to do.
that's exactly what he tried to do.
Oh man. Yeah, one of the worst ones.
Hey, he wants,
one of the
he
funniest
wants your
things was
number, and then he comes back. Yeah. He said he's gonna fuck you up now.
He's gonna fuck you up.
Because he didn't want to give him the number. Fuck.
Imagine he uses the exact legal terminology. He's gonna assault you next. Yeah, he wants your number and he's gonna assault you. Hey, but you remember that video we played of? I think it was last year, where because Mayweather, I think he got paid. Again, I don't know this for a fact, but it seems like a bunch of celebrities are getting money from certain agencies over there in Israel for them to go to Israel, tour Israel, take photos and everything, and then they come back and they speak about how great Israel is. Which, by the way, I'm not picking sides in this issue, but Mayweather was for a while there last year was spouting off about Israel, how great it is. And I don't know if you guys remember, he was buying jewelry in England, and there's a sizable Islamic population there, and they all gathered outside the place, and they started heckling him. And then I remember I was reading what happened. I was reading the report, and the report said, it's also, according to witnesses, Floyd Mayweather, when he was upon exiting the establishment, was getting slapped in the back of his head, and then I just hear recognize go. Exactly. See, I read that piece of information. I just hear it recognize in the back go, and I started laughing. Like he does that smack thing. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
In the article from the Guardian, it says like he's getting bitch slapped.
He's getting bitch slapped.
As he walked out of the store, getting bitch slapped.
I just imagine that it was like a decimation, in the Roman times where like the gauntlet, when they would punish you, you had to walk the gauntlet, a bunch of people holding sticks.
Right.
And you had to go. That's what they were doing.
Back in the head.
Exactly. Yeah, they were all smacking. But I don't know what
that was true if that happened, but I just visualized it and just started laughing.
You know what?
I did see the video, right, where they were like pressing him aside. There was like a crowd of people, and he kind of was trying to get out of there pretty quick.
I think he did. I think. Yeah, I'm not sure if everybody was smacking him in the back of the head, but I think at least one person must have, because he was fucking pissed. Because there was a cut in the video, and then they show him next to his car, and his bodyguard is trying to physically put him in the car, and Mayweather's resisting the bodyguard, and he wants to fight with the people. So I think somebody did touch him. It reminded me of when Jake Paul took his hat away, and he ended up showing.
Oh yeah, he wanted to go jump him. That was funny.
Yeah, because he exposed the pubes.
He just started putting that
the pube hair.
Yeah. I remember that.
Hadn't fully blended yet.
Rapak's Trucking Company is saying that allegedly he could not leave Dubai because of some jewelry. Remember that?
I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that as well.
What happened?
I heard about that too. I don't know how true that is.
I think it was someone in his entourage had grabbed something that they didn't pay for, and they're trying to get it back, and they're acting stupid about it. But yeah, he was there for a minute, right? And then they say they kidnapped him in Japan too.
Whoa, what?
No way. What?
You don't remember
you make
before he
shit
fought
up.
before he fought with what's that little guy? The little guy, like the 122 guy that he boxed.
Yeah, some Japanese guy.
Right.
And then he ended up making him cry afterwards. Like that was also obviously a fake fight as well.
Hey, what happened with Mayweather? Wasn't he going to rematch Victor Ortiz?
Yeah, but Victor Ortiz, see the state of him?
Yeah, was that supposed to be like an exhibition or something?
Right. And then they just recently said a couple of weeks ago that he was going to
It was going to be in Mexico.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, which I guess he changed his tune, man. And
no, he's going to fight Tyson, right? So.
Yeah, what happened to that?
No, did they drop that shit? I haven't heard anything anymore.
Not fighting Mike Tyson.
You know what happened with Mike Tyson, right? He said, "Oh hell no, that guy's not gonna pull his punches against me."
No, it's scheduled for spring of 2026. The spring of 2026.
You know what happened with that? Mike Tyson came to his senses. He sat down and he went, and then he started thinking about it.
Why is Mayweather acting stupid when, like, if he's really looking for something, he could just try to fuck around with Pacquiao? Didn't they already fight? That was already blah blah blah. The fight of the century. Pacquiao was actually active, just fought for a belt.
I think you already know the answer, man. He doesn't want to risk it against Pacquiao.
Break it down.
He doesn't want Pacquiao to spank that ass. That's all.
Yeah, he doesn't want to. He wants to have that one up on Pacquiao. That's really all it is, man.
This guy's been having fucking exhibition fights. Pacquiao's been fighting real dudes, like for the last 7 years. And so the last 7 years of their career, you know, Mayweather's fighting non-boxers, right? Pacquiao's
Right.
fighting real boxers.
Right.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Alejandro.
All right. Hey, if Pacquiao becomes the champion by defeating Rolly Romero, that adds to his legacy. I know Rolly's not the best, of
hell
the best,
yeah.
but you know, taking into account the age of Pacquiao's age, and then the fact that he's
Well,
Like
then
2 generations after him, right? Or behind him? 1 or 2?
it's got to be 2.
fuck.
I mean, Romero was a straight up Zoomer. Thurman wasn't
Yeah,
a Zoomer;
right.
he was a millennial.
Okay,
So,
okay.
yeah,
so
he's
then
a-
that's 2 generations
The fuck
behind
is
him.
Zoomer?
I mean, think
Because
about
Thurman
it.
was supposed to knock him into retirement. That's what that was.
When Pacquiao first won his title in 1998,
Jeez.
Romero was what? He was just he was already born, right? But he was still in diapers.
Yeah. You're right. It was 27 years
Wow.
ago. He was like 1 year old. Some shit like that.
Damn. Yeah, he was. Oh, yeah. No, hold on. Romero was born in 1995, but that's still a Zoomer, right? That's got to be a Zoomer.
I have no idea. I think it's something
I
like
believe so. I don't know.
Let me see. Generation
Who
Z.
gives
When
a
did
shit,
Generation?
man? Who gives a shit?
No. He might be a millennial. No, I think
Yeah, I
still.
think- yeah, I
Generation
totally-
Z refers to people between 97 and 2012. But by the way, that actually bodes badly on Romero too. Like I said earlier, he's 29 and he's got less than 20 fights. What the fuck's he been doing?
He's not a serious boxer.
What's going on,
He's
bro?
not a serious boxer.
You know what? He's too busy playing board games. That's what I saw in that 24/7, whatever it was. He's playing board games at the gym. Okay, let's play Strategia now, and then they're playing the Monopoly and all that. What the fuck? You're supposed to be boxing.
Really?
Right?
This helps me with my strategy. And he's playing Connect 4.
He's playing Hungry Hippo. He's playing Hungry Hippo.
Yeah, I think he only plays that time with Hungry Hippos.
This is for weight
Instead of
cutting.
really-
He needs something basic.
Instead of refining his technique or something, working on a jab, something, man.
But
No.
did you
He's
see
playing.
how Romero's demeanor changed after that win against Garcia? He's so like mean now. He looks angry. He's like he's serious. Like he's
He got the
dangerous, you
juice
know?
now.
Like he's dangerous now.
Yeah.
Fuck you, fuck everybody. He talks shit about it. Canelo talks shit about everybody. It's like, guy, come
Yeah,
on.
You know what?
Yeah, I'll slap Canelo.
Yeah.
Not for nothing, man, but really having a couple of good wins really does wonders for your ego. Like, for example, me, I used to, there was a point where I started, I joke around like I beat everybody up, but there was a time where I started having my way with everybody in the gym, and then I started doing the same thing as Romero. I started talking a lot of shit to everybody. Now, granted, the people I was beating up were kids. The people I was beating up in the sparring were kids, but still, I mean, you're still getting a good performance, so it does go through your ego. So maybe that's
You
what
had
Romero's
an
feeling. I
inflated
can
ego there.
sympathize.
No,
I did.
seriously.
I admit it.
Yeah, Rolly. Dark. Isn't Ropax calling him Dark Romero? Like evil Rolly. That's his name.
He's got the Dark Romero, the Dark Rolly saga. Yeah.
He's like.
Yeah, but welterweight is really a barren wasteland, and I'm hoping Norman. I'm rooting for Norman. I hope he wins. But yeah, I remember when Jim Lampley was on the 3 knockdown rule, and they'd asked him about who wins, Crawford or Mayweather, and he says Mayweather all the way because it's very difficult to beat a guy who doesn't care about boring the audience, and that's what Haney is. Haney fits that to a T. He does not. Him and his father are just out for themselves, and Haney has the ability to slow down the fight with his movement and with his clinching. Forget that, because every time I talk about the ass style, people harp on the running, but it's not just the running; it's the clinching. And that's what Haney has perfected. And unless the referee warns him about it and actually starts deducting points, I think it's going to be another standard Haney performance. I hope I'm wrong.
I think so too. How good is Norman Jr. anyways?
I mean, he looked good against Santillan, but again, that's a guy that's standing in front of him. Same thing with that Sasaki guy over in Japan. I mean, these are dudes that have next to no tact. And say what you want about Haney. Yeah, he was being overrated by a lot of these casuals and a lot of these cucks, but he's good. He's good. He's the best
He's
guy
good at
that
stalling,
Norman's fought so far.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He's very good at stalling, and you got to have you got to be explosive to get to the target like Ryan Garcia was in order to have a chance against Haney and
Or else, you know what?
Lomachenko. Because
Or else you end up looking like fucking Cambosos, who thought I'll just be aggressive, to impose myself, and you end up like
exactly. Great point,
Clinton
man.
as you come
Great
in.
point.
You know, Haney takes a step back. The other guy's like just going forward. Nah, you need a good job. You need the good fundamentals to destroy a guy like Haney. Like, listen, Ryan did a good job, man. The speed.
Well, the only thing,
Yeah.
the only thing, Mucho, that something that might trouble, that might just still be lingering, and Devin Haney's mind is the thing that he took a beating and he didn't look that good in the Ramirez fight. To where I mean, he's probably a little bit shell shocked, and we don't know to what extent will he recover long term. Maybe he'll never be the same because he took an ass whooping, and he always wanted to protect that. Oh, he took an ass whooping, and he didn't look that confident against Ramirez. So maybe he still got them demons.
Right.
I hope.
Yes.
No, go ahead.
No, somebody has to test that Haney, the Haney, the post Ryan Garcia Haney. Somebody has to test that chin.
Yeah. And the thing, Mucho, the big because of the power. This guy can also crack.
True.
Okay. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But we thought Ramirez might do that, remember? But Ramirez also looked shot. And you said it, Gonzalo, that he's been looking shot for a while now. So he wasn't the one that was going to test Haney at the end of the day. But maybe Norman Jr. is the guy.
Hopefully. Well, remember, Gonzalo also knew Ramirez was shot because he reminded him of that guy that he knocked out in Tijuana.
Right.
And then ended up growing the beard and looking like Ramirez. So
guy.
Gonzalo was speaking. Yeah, Gonzalo was speaking from experience. But that's the other thing, though. So, usually, okay, if you watch enough Haney fights at this point, you should know what his go-to move is, which is that he's going to dip down to his right, and he's going to make you barge in, over to the distance, and then he's going to clinch you. Norman, I hope him and his father have been watching footage of that, and that they have to know that, okay, when he does that, just stop, take a little step back, wait for him to come back up, and then you whack him. And also speak to the goddamn referees and the officials and say, listen, this guy's clinching. This guy's going to clinch. I want you to warn him for the clinches. Because otherwise, it's going to be same old. Well, I remember when Liam Smith... Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Well, Liam Smith beat Chris Eubank Jr. the first fight, right? And then he goes in the rematch, and all of a sudden it's in his hometown, and he's got this grandiose entrance. And I remember looking at that, and I'm going, this guy's way too overconfident for a fight that he essentially won by knockout. He didn't dominate that dude. He just he stopped him. And sure enough, all Chris Eubank did was tighten up his defense a little bit, move around a little bit more. He didn't open up that much. So then Liam Smith was out of ideas, and he was running into a jab, and sure enough, he gets stopped in the rematch. Liam Smith did, and I'm thinking, what was your plan? Did he just think, because he knocked him out, he got overconfident. He just thought, I'm just gonna show up and do the same thing.
Right.
He didn't have a plan.
No,
he looked completely lost because the guy showed a little movement in the jab. So I hope that's not what we're seeing with Norman on Fight Night, where it's a 6th round, he's getting outboxed, and you start looking at him, you go, what the fuck did you expect? Did you just think you were just gonna barge in there and stop the guy?
I fight my fight. I don't care about the opponent. I fight my fight. This is a problem, right? When you go in there thinking like that. I don't have to adapt.
Exactly.
You have to adapt to me. It's like, man, come on.
Listen, for all the criticism of Ryan Garcia Jr., for all the criticism against Ryan Garcia Jr., he is good at judging the distance. He's got very quick hands and heavy fist, heavy power. Norman, I don't know how fast he is.
How good of what?
Yeah, he seems to has decent speed. Maybe not as fast as Ryan. Maybe because
what chance do you guys give?
I think he has decent hand speed. He can catch him and hurt him. I'm sure probably comparable to Linares. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, I can't
Linares
believe
has fast hands too, bro. So I don't know.
When you guys mentioned those fights, like Lomachenko and Linares, I'm like, Haney was a fucking lightweight not that long ago.
Well, I mean, it's like
he was a middleweight fighting lightweights.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's like the whole Crawford's.
Yeah,
it's the Crawford snack thing. It's these guys that are able to suck down 25 pounds somehow and fight in lower weight divisions. That's insane. I don't know how they do it, but hey, modern science, I guess.
Well, he didn't look small against in those face-offs, whatever you call them, against Norman
exactly,
Jr.
Yeah. But that was a great example.
Right? You guys are bringing up. I'm sorry. Go ahead, BD.
Go ahead, Sobers. Go ahead. No, go ahead, man.
I was gonna say, so one thing you did notice about so one thing that you guys brought up, like how he's gonna look post Ryan. He's only fought one time, right? And that was against, what's his name, Ramirez. So he looked like he was fighting Mike Tyson in there, dude. The way he was acting, the way how much distance he was creating, he looked terrified. I don't know if he even low-key deserved. I don't even know if he deserved to win that fight, right? I don't think they should have gave it to him, but So that's what I'm saying. It's like, so when I wonder what's going to happen when Norman Jr. does land on him, because he's going to land a clean shot on him. And, Haney, everyone's saying he's a tough guy, whatever. He kept getting up against Garcia, but he seems like he's terrified to take any other hard shots like that. He didn't even want Jose Ramirez to hit him hard. And that was like the ghost of Jose Ramirez. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be interesting to see what happens when he gets cracked for real. Again, at a heavier weight class that maybe, maybe he's heavier-handed than Ryan. Who knows?
Still traumatized.
Yeah, by the way,
Or at least the power's comparable, because they both knock dudes on their flat on their back. Their head smacked the ground and they're like stiff. They've both done that to guys, so they definitely have power.
Yeah, you know what? I'm rewatching the Sasaki fight there, the Norman Sasaki fight. And yeah, Norman, he does look quick. A little quicker than I remember after seeing that fight. But again, he's fighting a guy with zero defense. And again, say what you want about Devin Haney, but like Bucho said, he knows how to slow the fight down to his pace and to stall. And, he sticks that jab in your face, and now you got to work around it. So, again, if you watch that Norman versus Quinton Randall fight, granted, it was in 2023, so a young guy like Norman, 2 years or a year and a half, however time it has been since that one, it can be fruitful, and you can see a lot of substantial improvement from 1 year to the next. But I'm just saying, man, that Haney is a complicated guy to fight. He's a spoiler. That's what he is. And if Norman thinks I'm just going to show up, like Bucho said, like Cambosos, the art of war, my mind, the art of war might. And it's like, no, man.
Let believe.
Yeah, you think this guy ain't Teofimo Lopez. This guy actually has a jab, and he doesn't care about knocking you out. He's not going to go in there to knock you out. He's going to make you go to him. And if you can't go to him, it's over. So that's why we'll see what happens with Norman. That's still a month away, so we'll see what happens.
What about the rumor of Teofimo Lopez against Shakur Stevenson?
I mean, we haven't heard much since then, but hopefully they're keeping it quiet and they're working on it. But that'd be a great fight, man. That'd be a great fight. I mean, a great fight. That would be a significant fight for sure.
I created a poll for the BA Boxing channel here, and I think Shakur won that by a landslide. Nobody's really giving Teofimo Lopez a chance.
Interesting.
Are they crazy? Are they right? What do you think?
Well, against Shakur Stevenson at 140?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Teofimo can match the qualities that someone like Shakur Stevenson has. That's why some of these guys don't want to fight with Teofimo Lopez. Remember, he was trying to fight Gervonta Davis not too long ago, and he was saying his name for a while, and Gervonta Davis act like he never heard no one say it or whatever. He never mentioned Lopez, right? Because he's also twitchy. He's fast. He can move around. He has good footwork. He doesn't have a jab, so maybe that's what will fuck him up. But he's someone that can be just as twitchy, if not more, than Shakur Stevenson, and that's what could beat him. So I don't know. Same thing with Devin Haney. So
that's a good point there from Sobers. That look, Shakur Stevenson is gonna be fighting a guy who matches or maybe even exceeds his speed. And say what you want about Teofimo Lopez. Okay, has his punching power been overrated? Maybe even overrated at lightweight? Sure. But he still hits harder than Shakur Stevenson. And Shakur Stevenson, we've seen him whenever he fights guys who have faster hands or who not only are they explosive, but they can also hit hard. He fights like he's scared, like against Nakatila and against De Los Santos. Now, when he fights guys that are slow, he's always got that speed advantage that allows him to relax a little bit. And, even though Teofimo Lopez is better than Cepeda in the sense that he's faster and more explosive, more agile, Cepeda, though, he has a better ability to get inside and work his way in. Lopez doesn't. So I suspect it's going to be Shakur Stevenson saying, okay, this guy can't come at me. He can't pressure, so I'm just going to make him look bad, and they're going to give me the decision. But again, if it looks like the De Los Santos fight, maybe the judges this time go, you know what? I actually like Lopez, what he did. He's a champ, blah, blah, blah. Maybe they give him the decision. He can't, Shakur Stevenson can't risk. I know they want to make him into a big star, the American establishment. They want the next Mayweather, the next Andrew Wood. But if he's so boring that the judges don't give a shit about it, maybe 2 judges give it to Teofimo Lopez, and that's all she wrote.
I agree.
Exactly.
I agree. What else?
And there was that one piece of footage of them sparring. Y'all seen that?
No, I haven't seen Shakur Stevenson.
It's like 10
Lopez.
seconds long. Yeah, Lopez and Stevenson are sparring, and it's not really much, right? I think Lopez lands a jab, to the body, whatever. But he's like, he's shucking and jiving, and you can see Stevenson's biting on all of it. You know what I mean? Like he's biting on all the feints.
How old
they
were
were young, right? But then it's funny though because they're like, you see Stevenson notices that someone's recording. He's like, "Hey, get the camera," and you can hear Teofimo Lopez Sr. What? Like, and the camera looks at the ground. So it was his dad. It was his dad trying to record, and like I think Stevenson caught him. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "What?" Like, and he just stops the camera.
Yeah, Stevenson's one of those dudes that like no recording. It's like, fucker, we can see your fights.
Yeah, because he gets punched in the stomach and he starts crying.
Time out. Yeah, time out. He wants time out.
Yeah. Who the fuck does that shit?
I don't know, man. That's weird. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah. Who does that?
Yeah, he got whacked with a good right hand. Oh, and then he looks like he's about to cry that he got hit. Like, you're not supposed to hit me. Like, what the fuck? That's why I understand why guys like Food TV thinks his fights are fakes, because it does look weird that in sparring they whack him and then he looks at him like, you're not supposed to hit me. That is weird. How do you explain that? That is weird.
Exactly.
But we can't talk too much ill about Shakur Stevenson too much because he is Puerto Rican and reckon he's gonna jump back in. What'd you guys say?
We're talking about my boy. My boy.
My boy. Yeah.
All right. What else is there? See, there's not much these days. Wait.
Yeah,
what do you have this
Boots
weekend?
fan called in to clamor over his exciting performance.
That's right.
Who?
No Boots fans.
Oh yeah. See, this is the thing. Where are the Boots fans? Where's the excitement? Nobody cares. I checked on the internet. Nobody's really talking about this. I'm gonna end up.
Well, I mean, boxing. I'm telling you, it's unfortunate, but okay. At least we've got Hernandez fighting today. He's exciting, live on the zone. But then next Saturday, we've got nothing. We've got women's boxing. So that, like I said, we've got nothing. Then the week after, we've got the Parker versus Worley fight. That's on the 25th. And then again, October was slim pickings. But at least November starts picking up. The first week of November, I believe, is when we have Ortiz versus Lubin.
Yeah. Now, this is the thing. Mexicans, I'm telling you, they're the biggest boxing fans. I think a lot of them after Canelo lost, they just like they're taking a break or something, and that's what it is.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I don't see him. The Brits, the Mexicans, they're the ones that are popular about boxing. But other than that, everyone else is. I don't know. Maybe it's the playoffs too. The baseball.
Right.
No, but at least, like I said, at least boxing is picking up in November. So, and a little bit in December. So we shall see.
You know what? We need a big fight. What's the next big fight? I mean,
the Ring 4 card. The Ring 4 card. That's pretty big.
But it's not a mega fight, right? I mean, it's not like who thinks fucking Yardy is gonna whatever? He's gonna beat Benavides.
Yard, yeah. People were giving me flack, by the way.
It's a good fight, but there's a clear favorite here.
People were giving me flack in that last Yard Benavides videos. Like, it's not Yardy. I go, and potato. What do you want from me? But by the way, in that, you're right. You're right about that the zone card, because look, it's David Benavides versus Yard. It's a good, Benavides is entertaining, but he's not knocking people out, and I don't know if he's going to be able to stop Yard. So and it's not really that significant a fight. Then you got Rodriguez versus Pumita Martinez. I'm looking forward to that one. Abdullah Mason versus Noakes. I mean, Norman versus Haney has a clear potential to be a stinker. And then Beterbiev versus Nicholson I think it's off. I think that's what they said last week. Dion Nicholson was saying that Beterbiev. But listen, I saw something that said Beterbiev might be out, and I said, "Well, I was surprised."
What?
Was that real, or was that just was that real, or was that just a rumor? Because I saw it on Twitter. Who knows if that's true or not?
I don't know, bro. I haven't seen that one.
Okay, hopefully it was just a rumor.
Thurman was off, but.
Oh no, it says boxing scene reported. Dion Nicholson reports November 22nd fight with Artur Beterbiev is off.
Terrible.
So it's kind of slim. Yeah, that card is not that big a card now that I think about it. And the other thing is, then we've got the Japanese card, the Japanese in the end of the year where you've got Inoue versus Picasso. That one's okay. Then you got Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. I mean, who's fighting in that one? Who's fighting in that undercard, by the way? Jake Paul, you got Gary Anton Russell versus Hiraoka. That's the good one, and that's on Netflix. That's free. So I mean, if you got Netflix, it's free. So, but then what's the other big card? Lamont Roach versus Isaac Pitbull Cruz. That's PBC, but that shouldn't be a pay-per-view. So yeah, we got slim pickings this year, man. Slim, yeah. The Sheik sort of let us down this last half of the year.
God damn it. Well, we'll see. We'll make it. We'll make it.
Yeah, we will. We always do.
We are survivors. I survived the streets. But anyways, I think that's pretty much it.
All right.
Call it a night. Thank you for being on the show, guys. We'll see you next time. All right. So anyways, people on YouTube, that's the show for today. We'll probably have another show. I want to do like a show every 2 days, but again, like we gotta find some topics here because there's not much going on lately. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Round one, Ash, Casamigos, Veronica, JA05, Manos, Me So Dionysian. What else do we have here? Sid White. Never saw. That's a fake account. Veronica, Fluke. All right, guys. Take care.